Fan.
Well, hey, what it do?
Ahoy!
What's up?
You've been upgraded from probable to in.
I'm in.
You're available.
I'm like Fred Warner.
Yeah, the injury report, you know.
You didn't expect me, but here I am.
Yeah. Well, we listed you yesterday as questionable for today.
Yeah.
And then,
fair.
and then it got updated to probable, and then we were like, well, probable still, we'll see what happens.
You know, I could have given you some inside info had you.
Yeah, we could have gone on,
text me.
what's the betting?
They got Polymarket on that?
Yeah, Polymarket.
Is Isaac Ropp in today?
Well, if you had bet yes, you would have won.
You would have won some cash.
And I was trending. I told you.
Yeah,
I texted you. I
you
said,
did.
I'm shooting for tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's why I updated you to probable. You know, I was like, hey, it's, questionable at the start, and then it went to probable, and here you are. Man of your word. Look at you. You don't look great.
Yeah, thanks.
I saw you coming in today, and you looked like you were dragging a little bit.
I got my ass kicked again.
Yeah.
Twice in 2 months.
Yeah.
I
could tell you were hurting a little bit when I saw you coming in.
Yeah, I got the same thing twice, I think.
Are you supposed to get you supposed to get the flu twice? I mean, there's different strands going around, right?
That must be it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Felt exactly the same as the last one.
Well, I mean,
it was like 8 weeks ago.
Well, the flu is the flu. Football is football,
Sports
and the
is
flu
sport.
is the flu.
And business is business.
So if you catch a flu, you can always catch a different flu, and it's still the flu.
No, that's right.
Someone hit me with the other day. Someone sent me something. We had another football is football.
Another one?
Yeah. I got to see who sent me that. Yeah, someone sent me on Twitter.
I mean, they're,
Yeah.
if we're really scouring for football is football,
It's everywhere.
They're everywhere.
If there's one thing we have learned in 20 years of doing this program, it's that football is football.
Well, yeah.
And you have to do football.
How many different guys have had to tell us football is football before we believe them?
I got to see who it was. It may have been like Christian McCaffrey that hit us with a football is football. See if I can find it. But yeah, it's I always laugh because now people are sending that stuff to me. I'm like, yeah.
All right. Well.
You missed football, by the way.
There's
There's a lot of football to be discussed.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually a little upset that I missed the last 2 days because it's been there's just been so much. I have hot takes.
Yeah. By the way, it was Christian McCaffrey that hit us with a football is football. So even the great Christian McCaffrey is aware football is football.
Well, he's right.
Yeah, he is. Well, I think it was like in, hey, how the Niners are doing this and all the injuries and whatever. And you know the answer to that? Football is football.
That's right.
So now you do. You go out and you play, or in Chip Kelly's words, you do football.
You know who agrees with him? Mario Cristobal.
Football's football.
Brother.
You know who else agrees with him? Nick Rolovich.
Yeah, football's football.
You know who else agrees with him? Chip Kelly.
Football's football.
You know who else agrees with him? Dan Lang.
Football's football, and the only way to get better at it is to play football.
You know who else agrees with him? Kevin Sumlin.
Football's football.
You know who else agrees with him? Todd Gurley.
Football is football.
I believe it was Herm Edwards, I think, started the football is football on this very program.
Maybe, but
I think it was
he's
Herm.
not on here.
No, well, I think.
Oh, you know who else agrees with him? Kirk Ferentz.
Football's football.
Yeah. No, I think we started noticing that when Herm was the coach at ASU and he hit me with we were down at Pac-12 Media Day and Herm hit me with a football is football. Because I asked him about like the NFL versus college. And Herm was like, well, hey, man, football's football.
Again.
And then it started.
Not wrong.
No, it's not wrong. And that was like, we asked Chip about it, and Chip hit us with it. Football's football. No different. No different.
Football's winning football.
How about that one?
Yeah.
Winning football is winning football.
Well, you missed Oregon not playing winning football, but they've won the offseason.
I want to, before we get to the big news of the day,
Yeah.
tell me, how did it go on Monday? Like, I mean, that was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
And none of us expected that. So how are Duck fans holding up? Is everybody okay?
I will say the most dystopian of things was, I guess, Dirt in a fit of like depression shaved his head mid-game. He like went into the bathroom like in the third quarter and just like by himself shaved.
But he was at the game.
No, Dirt wasn't at the game.
Oh, that's right. No, he was here.
Yeah, he was
That's
here.
right. They were out thirsty on
Yeah,
Sunday.
Dirt on like I guess he just like went into the bathroom and just got the Clippers and I just thought of that as like a Britney Spears like meltdown. And then a lot of Duck fans like Dan Lanning sucks and my favorite was Dante Moore needs to go. Like we don't want Dante Moore back. Yeah, he'll be a top 5 pick. Well, we don't want him. We want a good quarterback. They didn't handle it well. They said it didn't. It was a rough moment. But now don't worry, because that's old news. 2026. Most expensive roster ever. Everyone's back. National title next year.
Most expensive roster ever?
There is a
Really?
Yeah, it's
How
up
high?
it's up there.
40, 50?
Well, when you throw in the revenue share, every one of these rosters, like Texas is doing this too. Texas is bringing a lot of guys back, and so it's the idea of like all in. Ohio State did that last year, but now with the revenue share, so you throw $20 million on top of your NIL. There's some sniffs around that Oregon's roster may be 50 plus.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Well, we better win it.
They're going. This is an all-in sort of year. So don't worry, everybody. There's no way this could go wrong because they've won the offseason.
I found another football's football here.
Yeah, what
I
do we
didn't know
got?
this one was down here. Bryce Betcher.
Football's football.
Well, I mean,
Take it from Bryce.
if the exciting whites say that football is football,
Football's football.
Hey, you know that,
even,
boys.
even Colin.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. Very disappointing how
Yeah.
the Indiana game played out.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But well, of course, it wasn't good.
Well, if you're an Indiana fan, it was great. If you're an Indiana fan right now, I mean,
I had some buddies there, and they said Indiana fan was cocky.
they were one of the 6 Oregon fans that showed up. That game was 90% plus Indiana.
Well, he showed me. He did a video of the bar the day of the game at like noon,
Yeah.
and it was the Oregon team hotel.
Mm-hmm. All Indiana.
97% Indiana.
Yeah. Almost everyone that was down there covering the game, like the leading up to it, all said the same thing. Like, dude, there's no green. And then they showed, were you dying yet at the game or were you able to watch the game?
When was that game?
That would have been Friday.
Oh yeah, no, Friday I was fine.
It's Friday you were
Yeah,
fine.
because I was at the Thirsty Lion.
Oh,
I made an appearance.
get bull crap.
I was there, yeah. I was
Boy,
there.
you
can
want to
ask-
talk about a poly
Yeah.
market? Because you mentioned that you were
Yeah.
going to go to that, and I
I
was
went.
like, the hell you are.
I went.
You showed up
Yeah.
for how long?
Had a couple drinks. Hung with some, some,
Do we have confirmation on this?
You can ask.
I need video
You can
proof.
ask all the people that were there.
Boy,
Dirt was there. I talked to Anthony.
you
Newman.
talked to Dirt?
Yeah, talked
All
to
right.
Anthony Newman. I talked to Ryan Cooley. I talked to Kurt Ludwig.
Boy, I'll tell you right now.
You know who's the star of the show? Is freaking Lowercase was there.
Yeah, people love lowercase.
Lowercase is an animal.
Well, he's the new fan twink. Dude, I'm telling you, you showing up at a watch party is a way bigger upset than Indiana housing Oregon.
Well, I didn't watch the game though.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Oh, all right.
I showed up for the Dirt and Newman pregame show
And then,
presented by Coors Light.
sure.
Had a couple drinks.
Yeah. And then-
On Odyssey, and then I bailed. I watched it at home.
the open bar.
Yeah.
When they pulled out and they did the crowd shot, I was like, holy God. There was one little corner in the end zone where there was noticeable green. Like, if we're playing Trivial Pursuit, it was the bastard brown section that no one wants, like the literature. That's what Oregon fan base was. Everything else was red, and then maybe there was some flex, like one-offs. But, I mean, they say Bloomington, where Indiana plays, 51,000, I don't know the name of the stadium, 51,000. They said that was the biggest Indiana crowd ever. There was more than 51,000 Indiana fans at that game, and it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, hey,
it's insane.
It's a good turnout.
Well, look,
Good fans.
we can say this, and I think this goes with the whole Dana Altman basketball thing. It goes with Oregon baseball. It goes with Oregon football. That obviously is an athletic powerhouse school, and they support their football, and it's one of the great in-game environments in college football. Even Ohio State said it. When Ohio State came, Ohio State fans were like, oh my God, we need to recreate this. This is a better environment than what we have at the Shoe. But outside of Autzen Stadium, can we admit that the Oregon experience, it does not translate to other sports and it does not travel? It just doesn't. We've been to enough of these. National title games, Rose Bowls.
Oh, yeah.
The Oregon experience does not travel. Oregon's superpower is Autzen Stadium. You get them outside of that and it just doesn't travel. Nebraska travels. Like wherever, like Iowa State travels. But like you could play Nebraska volleyball and like 10,000 people will show up somewhere to watch Nebraska volleyball. People don't show up to watch Oregon sports when they're really good. So it's a weird,
Well, I don't know
it's
why
a weird,
It
it
just-
is
I don't
because
think it's weird.
they've become,
They're not that, like, they've never been a huge powerhouse. They're now good. They don't have a huge fan base. They're way up here in the Northwest. Like, it's not like it's a national
but for,
fan base with tons of alumni.
but for what they have become, because they are a power in a lot of sports. And because of Phil and Nike and the boosters, they have become a major player in a lot of things. And I would say that for the Blue Bloods, the powerhouse programs, they have one of the worst traveling sort of following that you have. And I do think it shows up a lot when you play in these types of games. Not that makes any sort of difference. Trust me, 70,000 Indiana fans did not make a difference in that game, but it is alarming when you go to enough of those and you are outnumbered 10-1.
And nationally, that's why people still think that Oregon isn't necessarily a blue blood outside of our little area. If you go to the South, they probably don't think Oregon's a real team because their fans don't travel. They look at that game and they say, "Where's your fans?
They don't
do you
see
care?"
the popularity.
It's like RJ's in saying I respectfully disagree. Oregon fans travel well. No, they don't.
No,
I'm telling you,
they really don't.
We go to.
I'm with you on that.
They don't. They don't travel.
But I think generally, it's a small operation.
Yeah,
it always has been.
Yeah.
Like I think that shows you that it still is. Now Indiana, I think there's a little difference with the Indiana thing, in that is one of the worst college football programs like ever. Right?
Yes.
I mean, and they've
awful.
never done anything.
No.
And now all of a sudden they're having this unbelievable success. It's like if the Oregon trajectory were the Indiana trajectory, I think you would see a lot more. I don't know about 97% Indiana down there. You'd see a lot more Oregon fans.
Yeah.
But Oregon, remember, they had to go to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Atlanta? No,
It
they
was
had to go to Miami and then back.
There was no
And
one
then
there in Miami either.
No, I know. And then Atlanta. But then I think a lot of folks were holding out to possibly go to Miami again. So, and they've had several of these over the last 10 years. They've had, and I'm not saying Oregon travels well. They don't. But I think it's a little different, the situation Indiana was in for that one game. And Oregon's had a lot of these, a lot of Rose Bowls, a lot of championship game or tournament appearances in the last couple of years.
All I know is we've been to it, like I said, whether that's they've played Florida State, whether they've played to Auburn. I'm trying to think of the last time that the Oregon fan base was the dominant fan base at one of these games. Maybe Kansas State?
Well, I guess I would ask this question. Is Oregon even capable of traveling to that level? I don't think they have enough fans.
And maybe that's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's in other words, I think it can be viewed as a reflection that their fans aren't very good. I don't think that's it. I just think their fan base is generally pretty small. I think the whole thing is a small operation compared to other major programs.
I get that. So what you could say is it's a small operation that because of the engine behind it has outgrown the footprint. But then why... Then how do we explain no one showing up for the basketball team when they're good and just not the support for the other sports? It feels like even if they're really good at the other stuff, the one that matters is football. And if that's the one that matters, beyond all doubt, why isn't that one the predominant force? And I don't know how big a footprint, like I said, like Nebraska has or whatever, but how is it that at any sport they fill up no matter what? Like they sell out every sport.
Because I just think I'm from the Midwest, and I got to tell you, dude, as great as the Oregon fan base is, and what they've built is, sports is not central here. Yeah. It's never been, and it never really will be. Like it's a different mindset. West Coast is much more balanced. Yeah. They don't live and breathe and die by their sports. There is nothing to do in Lincoln, Nebraska, dude. All you ever grow up on out there. Yeah. Is sport, and it doesn't matter what sport, football, basketball. If they're good, you support it. It's the big N, and it's a way of life that doesn't really exist on the West Coast.
And maybe this is a fair thing because maybe you can say it about everyone on the West Coast. You can say it about UW. You can say it about USC. I think it's a West. Maybe
Coast
that's
thing.
all it is. It's just a West Coast thing.
Yeah, I mean. Or a Midwest thing. I mean, I don't think it's a knock on the West Coast. I actually think it's quite healthy.
Sure.
How we view sports out here.
Yeah.
Midwest, dude, there's nothing out there. I'm from there. Yeah. You grow up, that's everything. It's all you have. Yeah. And so it matters more.
Yeah. And again, at the end of the day, I don't know. We kind of ended up on that. That's not why they lost to Indiana. You lost to Indiana because you played the worst game that you've played all year. Indiana played as good as game they played all year. And without a doubt, they've proved it now 2 times. Indiana's just better than you. And maybe that's the frustrating thing. Someone said, I'm going to absolutely lose it if Indiana wins a national title before Oregon does. Well, get ready to lose it because I think Indiana's about to win a national title before you do. Think about 30 years of infrastructure being built towards this, and Indiana did it in 2.
I know. It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. I got some hot fun facts on that coming up later, but because that game's what, Monday?
Monday. Although I've said all along, Indiana's going to win this game, but be careful writing off Miami, because anytime you get to this point where you're like, you guarantee that someone's going to win a national title, you end up with USC. Oh, we the greatest team of all time, right? Until Vince Young shoves it up your keister. So just be careful. Miami isn't going to lay down for you.
Would you rather have Cristobal win a title before you or Indiana win a title before you?
As painful as it is, because Indiana whooped your ass.
It's Indiana.
It's Indiana.
Yeah.
Duck fan cannot live with the idea that, let's be honest, one of the worst game coaches we've seen in like 20 years who left you and then rebuilt Miami, you can't live with that guy winning a national title. You live with Cignetti and you say, look, it was a weird thing. And
he beat us twice.
And whatever. But losing and having Cristobal then beat the team that just got done, like pulling a Michael Irvin belt to ass on you, you can't.
The's no excuses for it.
No,
with Cignetti in Indiana, you can make the excuse of, transfer portal, they got 24-year-olds. What are we supposed to do? We can't play with that.
I love that one. The two excuses now are they're old.
Yeah.
They're old and they're cheating. Somehow they've hacked into everybody's comms. You haven't heard this one?
Well, they're not cheating.
There's
comms.
Yeah.
Michigan?
There's accusations that they're Connor Stallions.
Yeah, they're Connor Stallions. That they've two of the guys on their staff, supposedly, the rumor is they're cybersecurity guys, and that they've cracked into all the college like football database film, and that's the only reason.
Damn, Mark Cuban.
Yeah. Yeah. Cuban has funded the cybersecurity, and it's the only reason Indiana's doing this. So they're a bunch of old fogies, which is unfair, even though everyone can do it, and cybersecurity theft. It's the only reason Indiana.
Yeah, we can't possibly wrap our head around the fact that they actually just built a really strong program with not a lot of 4 or 5 star kids.
No.
Like we can't. That can't be true.
I am this close to buying an Indiana hat. It's
great.
I love this story.
Assuming they're not cheating.
I don't even care. Even if they cheated and got to this point, what they have done, this is the best college football story in my life, and it is up there with Miracle on Ice. If they win this, dude, that guy, Kurt Cignetti is Herb Brooks. I cannot fathom what is happening in Bloomington. And I hope that not only they win, I hope they go Joe Burrow LSU and they just roll Miami and just give everyone the middle finger. And there is no doubt, no controversy, no nothing. We're just better than all of you. And we're Indiana. And then Cignetti to get on the podium and give you the Pat McAfee like finger point wink. It's all I want. He just say, I'm going to go crack a beer, and he just winks at you and walks off the stage.
Tell you who had a real problem with Mario Cristobal after they won. It was my wife.
Oh, yeah.
Nurse Nice.
He doesn't handle it
I tell you what, she did not like him.
Well, no one does.
She was like, look at this. Who is this coach? Do you remember? Okay, so remember when they won, they beat, it feels
Ole
like
Miss.
Forever ago. Yeah, they beat Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
And he got up on the podium.
Oh, he's such a...
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't really paying attention.
No, and he's yelling at people to
he's
get off
yelling
and other people. Yeah,
My wife was so mad at him. She's like, who is this guy? I'm like, trust me, baby. He's an ass. Okay? He used to be the Oregon coach. Well, he sucks. I hate that guy.
It is a red ass off between Cristobal and Cignetti.
She was on Holly Rowe's side.
I understand.
She likes Holly Rowe.
Oh.
And then I had to tell her about you and Holly Rowe.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Your romance. That could have been.
Our passionate, burning moment.
Could have been.
Where we could have watched game film together.
That's what they call it.
If we're playing Trivial Pursuit, it was the bastard brown section that no one wants. Like,
what is that?
Oh, for God's sakes.
We got more.
Yeah.
Seemed a little racist.
Just added in
more
there.
Souk racial drops.
No one wants the brown piece of Trivial Pursuit. It's the worst piece.
The color white to me just always works.
I know that I'll probably have to join a white supremacist gang. My mom is adorably racist.
I just have always preferred the whites.
Great.
It's unbelievable.
If we're playing Trivial Pursuit, it was the bastard brown section that no one wants. Like,
God, you just can't help yourself, can you?
Well, I should have said the orange section that no one wants.
All right, well, we got good Duck news, so I missed all the bad Duck news.
Yeah.
I bet it was fun talking about it, though.
The Ducks are back. Are you kidding me? They've won the offseason, and now it's natty.
Look, it's big news.
Yeah,
okay.
It's natty.
Dante Moore is coming back. We'll get to that next on The Fan.
The Fan Sports Network is your home for the college football playoff.
Touchdown, Texas Tech!
Every game of the college football playoff. Heard on 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, The Fan, and 910 AM ESPN Portland.
Touchdown! Indiana takes the lead!
The College Football Playoff on the Fan Sports Network is brought to you by Video Only, Mods PDX, and Legends Hotel and Casino.
Now, here's a quick look at Portland traffic.
A crash on northbound I-405 past Jefferson Street has traffic backed up solid to the Markham Bridge, also through the Vista Ridge tunnels onto Highway 26. I'm Kim Vestal with traffic.
This traffic report brought to you by
Clackamas Community College. A better job, a fresh start, doing something.
So I looked up actually, I went to ChatGPT because I wanted to see if there was a ranking of most alumni. Not football. I didn't put anything about football in there. I just said which universities in the U.S. have the most alumni.
I do know Indiana has a big alumni base.
Well, yeah, they're number 2 in the whole
Number
country.
2? Who's won?
Penn State.
Oh.
So this says Penn State has about, where'd that go? Oh, rats. It has over 800,000. Indiana has 725,000 alumni.
How many,
Oregon.
What's their attendance?
Oregon is at 276,000 living alumni.
Yikes.
So they're already like a third of what Indiana is just based on number of people. And then you factor in the fact that there really isn't a history of winning at football. Of course, there isn't at Indiana either. Yeah. But I think that at Oregon, when did they, they started getting good in the early 2000s, right?
Yes. Yeah, so late 90s, early 2000s.
You now have 25-year-olds or whatever in that age range who grew up with Oregon football being relevant and good. Mm-hmm. I would think, and this would, I think, be a more accurate reflection of the Oregon football, traveling party. I would think over the next 40 years, you will see that grow tremendously. Or at least you should, because you're now in the generation that's going to be having kids that are, all of them grew up with Oregon football being relevant and good and being a big thing in this area, right?
Yes.
I think that
it should be.
That should, over time, it's going to take a while, but I think that over time should make Oregon football's traveling party a little better.
Yeah, to be fair, so I looked it up. Enrollment at Oregon is 20,000 some change. It's like 22 to 24 depending on the year. I looked up Nebraska and Indiana. They're both like in the 50s. I looked at Penn State. You said Penn State's was number 1. how many people?
Alumni, yeah.
Yeah, alumni. You know how many people are enrolled at Penn State?
70,000.
86.
Yeah.
God, I didn't know.
Yeah, they're huge, man.
I didn't know Penn State was enrolled like that. Someone else pointed out, too, places like Nebraska, like Indiana, there's not another major, like Indiana
Well,
is
what I
the,
said.
yeah, it's the.
When you grow up there,
yeah, that's it.
That is ingrained in you at a very early age.
Where we split Oregon State.
There's nothing
and
that
Oregon.
competes with it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Go on a hike?
Well, I mean, just the idea of, like Oregon State has almost 40,000, and there is
40,000 what?
Students, and Oregon has it's got 30,
sure?
39, yeah. Oregon State University saw its enrollment at 39,000. So
that's bigger than I thought.
I mean, that's way bigger than Oregon. So Oregon's not even the biggest university, and actually, I think Portland State might be the biggest enrollment in the state, but. Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of split the fan base out here in half, and if you're in Nebraska, if you're in Indiana, you ain't splitting crap. It's
exactly.
Yeah, no one's rooting for the Sycamores unless you're Larry Bird's family.
Well, guys,
and he actually started by going to Indiana. It's just that Bob Knight was such an ass, he transferred out of there.
Big news: the Ducks get Dante Moore back.
Yes,
for another season. How about that?
They got basically everybody back. The only two they lost were Thieneman and Sadiq. And they still have Jamari Johnson coming back, who have been NFL tight end. They got a 5-star tight end out of Penn State in the transfer portal. They got the number 1 safety in the portal to replace Thieneman. Although if you brought up both of those guys back, the Caucasian collision unit would have been back in force. I mean,
Evan Stewart's coming back.
Yeah, sounds like Evan Stewart's coming back. So I mean, there is. This is all in. Someone sent me a text today that was kind of close to the program that said that they're mashing the gas. They're breaking the bank, much like Texas and Ohio State did last year. They are shoving all the chips in the middle. It's probably the most expensive quarterback room in the country. They're going all in. And everyone's kind of kicking the can down the road with Oregon, and people get tired of hearing next year. I think this coming year in 2026, there's not a single position that's going to have an unproven guy at it. And a lot of these guys are going to be first 3-round NFL guys in your secondary, on your defensive front, most of your skilled players. I mean, it's you're out of excuses. It's another year of elite recruiting, another year of big transfer portal, everyone coming back. It's really national title or bust. There's not an excuse to be made next year.
I feel like we've talked about this with Joey Harrington, who conveniently comes on our show every Friday at 5:30. Brought to you by Mods PDX. But I think we've all agreed at some point here over the last couple of years that that's really every year. It's you're no longer having to rebuild. You're no longer. I mean, this team was young. Everybody thought it was a year away. Well, it ends up in the semifinals of the playoff. It shows you they're ready every year. Yeah. It doesn't matter. So the idea that there's more pressure next year, it's the same thing. They're just reloading, but they needed Dante Moore back. I mean, the Dylan Raiola thing,
But I think there's a difference for me when I look at it and I say your two best running backs are both true freshmen. Your best receiver is a true freshman. You're starting true freshmen in the secondary, and you have a first-year quarterback. I mean, he played like 4 games at UCLA, right? He was making his first real starts. Coming back now, both your running backs are seasoned vets. You bring back basically all of your receivers. No one's a rookie anymore. All those young pups in the secondary have grown up, and you've replaced one of kind of the leader of that secondary with his clone from Purdue to Minnesota. Every one of your defensive linemen, by the way, is a first 2 probably round guy. Maybe there's one of them in the 3rd round, but every one of those is a top 3 round NFL pick. You couldn't say that. And your quarterback, when he comes out next year, is more than likely going to be a top 2 or 3 pick in the country. You could make an argument on paper and the experience you have coming back, and it's a strong argument. This is the best roster in college football. And if you've been building towards this and you think Dan Lanning's one of the best coaches in college football and you have this roster, there are no more excuses. Whereas this year, I even said at the beginning of the year, I thought this was a playoff team. I didn't think it was a national title team. Very rarely this year, outside of like that early games against like Oklahoma State, that I think it looked like a national title team. It seemed to open up because there was no other elite teams, but it didn't feel like it had that look to it. Next year, there's not a roster in college football that you would look at and say, I would trade for Oregon's. So I do think that there's a different amount of pressure. And I do think there's a different expectation, at least from me, on that 2026 squad than there was on this one.
Is that the biggest question then? Is Dan Lanning, his coaching ability? I love Dan Lanning, but is that the biggest question mark still in this team? Because you're right, Suk. I think if you look at it on paper, maybe the most talented team in the nation.
But you're talking about one extra win. I mean, the two things that you just compared.
2 extra wins.
Well, one, to get to the final. If you get to the final and you lose to it, I don't know. I think if you get to the final, and you lose, I don't know how that could be deemed an unsuccessful season. But
wait till next year.
Maybe if they.
I think it depends on how you lose. Too.
It's true. If Kansas gets in there and upsets you, then it's like, how do you not win that game? Yeah. But I just think, generally speaking, this team was on the cusp of that. Lost to a better team in Indiana, and 2 years ago they lost to a better team in Ohio State. I think what you're saying is now you're the better team.
Yes,
like,
you're the better team.
But again, I just think the expectations are lofty every year, and hell, I thought they'd beat Indiana. Well, I'm an idiot, but I just think a lot of Duck fans felt like they were right there, should have been right there with Indiana too. So they're just not that far. No matter what, whether it's this year, 2 years ago, still rubs you the wrong way, or next year, they're close no matter what.
There is never,
and that's the beauty of what Dan Lanning has built. Now the next question is how much longer can disappointing playoff losses go before what Steven brings up becomes really valid, and that is, can Dan Lanning, because they have everything else, can Dan Lanning get him over the hump?
And it's the first time I will say, look, injuries can play a factor, and weird stuff happens. But right now, I agree with Steven. To me, the last piece of the puzzle is, can you not get out coached? Can you not get out schemed? Because I think what happened with Ohio State and Indiana, yes, they were better than you, but you essed the bed in the biggest moment. And when I look at this, I think this is the most talented team coming back in the country. There is no more, that roster is better. There just isn't.
But you had to have a good quarterback.
Yeah, and you
got your guy back.
And you got your guy. So like I don't know what you would look at other than maybe like a linebacker, and we'll see what happens there. That's the only thing that I would look at and be like, all right, well, maybe this is arguably the most expensive roster in college football history. It's arguably the best roster in the country right now, and you've been on the doorstep of this, and you've been building towards this in that program. They even circled this year. Last year was, the one that's going on right now, was kind of viewed as the laying the foundation. And inside that program, they would tell you that next year was the, oh my God, here we come year. And they convinced everyone to come back. They spent for everyone to come back. Think about the money it took to get all those guys to come back. You are out of excuses. And for the irrational fan that was pissy and moany after Indiana, I pushed back on all of that. If this result happens next year, you have every right to yell and scream and be like, that's not good enough.
It could just be a coordinator issue, too.
Yeah.
And, you lost Stein and Lupoy, and there was a lot of questions about them anyway.
And by the way, I still think it speaks volumes that neither one of those, quote, promotions has been signed in ink. It wouldn't shock me one bit if on either side of the ball or both sides of the ball, we don't see a new set of eyes of at least a co-coordinator, if not an outright coordinator, because he loves the thing, and both of the guys that are being promoted were already co-coordinators. Wouldn't shock me if they go outside the program and bring in two guys.
The old Brian Windhorst meme there.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, let's pause and bring it back on this subject, because I wonder how much that would affect Dante Moore. Like, don't you maybe want continuity at OC with Dante Moore coming back?
Well,
now?
You're keeping, and I think that's one of the reasons why they said all along that, hey, we're kind of keeping things status quo to keep the team together, and you're trying not to have it splinter. But now that you've got all those guys coming back, you can promote from within while still bringing in a new set of eyes to maybe add some wrinkles to this and some outside thought.
All right, Dante Moore's back. We'll talk about it next. Here's Steven.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, as the guys are talking about, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore has announced that he will officially be back in Eugene for one more season. Moore is projected to be the number 2 quarterback in the NFL draft, but elected to stay in Eugene for one more year. While that's not the case for a couple other Ducks, All-American safety Dylan Thieneman, he announced he will head to the NFL draft. He's projected to be a top 50 pick. And just in 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, wide receiver Malik Benson says he is also heading to the NFL. One NFL wide receiver is announcing his retirement. That'll be Adam Thielen. He announced that on social media today. He played 13 seasons, 703 career catches, ranking 4th all-time for undrafted players. Blazers got whooped last night, 119-97 to the Warriors. No Denny Avdi for the Blazers as he nurses a hurt back. Blazers take on the Hawks tomorrow from the Moda Center. 49ers, they've been banged up, but they may get a little help. Fred Warner, he made it clear today that he hasn't ruled out returning from a fractured and dislocated right ankle. 49ers opened up Warner's practice window on Tuesday, and Warner said they're taking it day by day, leaving open the possibility of him playing when the 49ers are in Seattle on Saturday, and we will have that game live here on The Fan. And Wizards' new star point guard Trae Young, still recovering from an MCL and quad injuries, will be reevaluated after the All-Star break. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the Georgia Coy at Warnow Sports Desk. Hurt missy work, insurance companies acting like jerks, don't call your mom. For Georgia Coy at warnow.com.
Recruiting with Andrew Nemec, Thursday.
All right, well, you just teed up Oregon and all Oregon fans on the idea that they must win a title next year.
I do.
But in order to do that,
I feel that way.
You needed Dante Moore back.
Yes.
Because, I mean, Dylan Raiola is a whole nother topic, but you needed Dante Moore back.
Yes.
And, of course, Dante Moore today announced he is coming back.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was weird. I mean, I guess it's not weird because this is just what we do now, but I love that he went on ESPN and broke it through Adam Schefter. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've said this about, like, the Ducks in general. How do I put this? It's easy to hate him. I get it. Like, Duck fan gets so butthurt. I'm looking right at you, Dirt. Anytime someone has the nerve to be critical of you. But for all of the Dan Lanning, and I love Dan Lanning, but for all of they're playing for clicks, no one plays for clicks quite like Oregon. From the, I was even laughing getting into the Indiana game when they were like, oh, Dan Lanning's going to be pissed. And Josh Pate's like, I'm sending Dan Lanning text messages so that he gets angry. Dan Lanning isn't going to play a snap. He said that after the Penn State game or before the Penn State game, right? None of those 100,000 people are going to play a snap. Dan Lanning doesn't play a snap, but they love the videos and they love this sort of attention, and it's been really good for him. But when you're going to go out there and you're going to do we're mighty different and we're this and we're the effing bowl, be prepared. Every time you talk about winning the offseason, people love to watch you fall. And this is going to be another thing that when your quarterback, who, can we be honest, this was a known thing for a while. We couldn't really say it, but Dante Moore was coming back. They made an in-house video a couple days ago. Like, they knew he was coming back, but he kind of held it out.
Raiola needed to know too.
Yes. So all of that stuff. None of this was
anyway. Yeah,
none of this.
We'll talk about him
none
later.
of this was a decision that was made.
Well,
today.
but look,
they played it out and they go on SportsCenter and it's a whole thing, and that's good for you. But it's also the reason why people, when you fall on your face, are going to point at you and be like, ha ha ha, we don't take you seriously. And so next year, again, we're going to hear this all again of, they won the offseason. Now it's time to prove it. And I do think that next year, without a doubt, will be the most talented, the most NFL-laden, the most veteran-laden team you have ever had. And there is no more excuses. Yeah. This is the definition of put up or shut up.
Let's go back to Dante Moore because I want to give the kid credit. I agree with you about the ESPN thing. That was a little stupid. But, what Oregon does with its social media and its videos and stuff, you may not like it. And yes, it does stir up other fan bases, but it's really good for their brand and their recruiting.
Absolutely.
And the kids. And that's really all that matters. So you can hate on it all you want. They're really good at it. They're one of the best schools in the country at doing it. And I think it's part of why they've been so successful. So they're not going to stop doing that. But yes, unless you win a championship, people are always going to try to tear you. The better you get, the more people try to tear you down. I don't think they care about that. They're building towards something, and they're getting damn close, and they needed Dante Moore to come back, and I have to give Dante Moore a lot of credit because, dude, that he just turned down about $50 million guaranteed dollars.
Yes, he did.
And I know he's getting paid at Oregon, and I know his life's good, but that kid, we talked about this on the show. There was I think it was Rittenberg wrote a piece on him maybe before the playoff, and we talked about his mindset, and he said that when Kenny Dillingham left to go to Arizona State, that's when he made the decision to go to Chip Kelly UCLA. He said, I lost my OC. I wasn't real comfortable. I didn't know Will Stein and Chip, so I went to UCLA. What he said about that was a mistake. And I think it was really, telling of his character that he admitted it was a mistake, and he went back to Oregon. Not only did he go back to Oregon, he sat at Oregon
and knew he was
because just like Raiola. Yep. I think it says a lot about Raiola that he knows that he's going to sit for a year, right? So I think that shows the kid really is, his head is in the right place of wanting to get better. I'm going to sit behind Dylan Gabriel and I'm going to learn. That's what I needed to do initially, and I didn't do it, and now I righted that wrong. Okay, here, fast forward, he has a year that was pretty uneven. I mean, we saw flashes from Dante Moore. He was very good, a lot of talent. But my God, I mean, the Indiana had him in a pretzel twice. And so there's the idea with him that, does he see the field at all? Can he get better at that? Or Is he just one of these guys who you're going to have to take the good with the bad? He knows that. Oregon knows that. The NFL knows that. And still he could have made $50 million. And he said, nope, I know that. I'm going back to Oregon. I need to get better. The NFL will always be there. I got to give him a lot of credit for that. Yeah. There are not a lot of guys that would do that. I think he's smart to come back to Oregon because he does need to get a lot better.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he is admitting that, and not only that, but it completely helps Oregon in the quest that you're talking about. I think this is a great day if you're Oregon, because that kid, again, the debate, and I'll ask you, the debate about him is how much better can he get? I know I've talked to Joey about him a lot this year, and Joey played the position, so I tend to trust him. There are some people who don't think his faults can be improved upon that much. No. Can they? Or, because I expect him to be a much more polished, better quarterback
100% agree
next year.
Yes.
Some people don't because they think his flaws are just his flaws, and it's what's going to cost him in the NFL. I don't know how you feel about that, but
I mean, look, I don't care who you are. It's a crapshoot going to the NFL. There's no such thing as a sure thing. I do know that if you have less than 20 starts in college, and that's right about, I think Dante Moore might have 20, the track record is not great unless you're just a freak of nature like Cam Newton. And Dante Moore isn't Cam. I love all the physical attributes that Dante Moore has. I think when you look at his size, I think the ball comes off his hand differently than it does other players. I think you've seen at least 6 or 7 throws that were difference makers in games this year that are NFL throws. When you watch and you evaluate quarterbacks, they often say that you can go through an entire game and there's 26 passes and maybe 5 of them are throws that are what you would evaluate to the NFL. Dante Moore can make all those throws. I think he can get bigger. I think he can use his legs better. And the big one is I think he needs to be better at processing information, trusting his eyes, and letting the ball rip.
Right.
And to me, those are all things that can get better with time. So yes, is Dante Moore going to be the perfect quarterback specimen? No. I don't think he's going to get viewed the way we viewed Andrew Luck or Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's going to be viewed as a generational kid. But I don't see how, to me, when I look at Moore and I say his flaws are feel for the game and kind of pre-snap stuff and what he does with his eyes, I don't see how that stuff can't get better. Now, if you say that there's limited physical traits, like your arm strength doesn't really get better, accuracy doesn't really get better. Those are things that, like, just the way you throw the ball, mechanics. You know, when you're Tim Tebow and you're trying to clean up your mechanics, that's almost impossible to do. But Dante Moore has all of that stuff. So I think coming back for him, while risky, because you never know, I would like to point out that going into this season, Todd McShay, whatever you think of Todd McShay, he's a pretty smart guy.
Is he still doing his thing?
Yeah, he's still doing his thing, right? So Todd McShay is, and you can go, like, Dane Brugler, I think, does a better job of this. But just know that most mock drafts going into this season, in the top 10, you had Garrett Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers, Cade Klubnik, and Drew Aller. Those 4 were locks to be top 10 picks. There ain't one of those dudes that's not just sniffing the top 10. They ain't sniffing the first round. So you can fall on your face. There is a risk that Dante Moore comes back next year and falls on his ass and costs himself a lot of money. But I would bet in this system with this team you have coming back, they are not going to fall apart. And even if he stays flat and doesn't improve on those things, and I think he can, I just don't see a world in where this team and this offense that's going to be better than it was last year from a talent standpoint, I don't see why that would collapse underneath him.
Yeah.
So I do think he can get better.
Dante Moore against ranked teams, 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 interceptions against the rest of the teams that he played against. I think that's the big thing is, can he play a little bit better in those big-time games?
Well, I think Suk was talking about just seeing the field and processing information. That's really it.
Yes.
We see the physical traits. It's how quick the brain works to recognize what's happening. Indiana had him all twisted.
There is a great one against Texas Tech that you can point to. It's the one where Sadiq was running the little skinny post, and Indiana was running a single high safety look. They had rotated into it. And the safety is standing in the middle of the field. And you could see Dante Moore when he came back and he saw the middle safety. And when that middle safety's there, you don't throw the post, right? Pretty simple. You got your tight end running up the seam, and he's hitting the post. You can't throw that in the middle of the field safety. But that safety was biting on the underneath route, and he started to come underneath. That's the sort of thing that I don't think people appreciate how subtle that is. But if you just hold that or use your eyes to manipulate that safety, right? All you need to do is stay on that route or get him to move with just, a quarter of a second, and you realize, yeah, I just put a little air underneath this, and I've got my touchdown. But it's so much easier for my dumbass and everyone else to stand there and be like, oh, how come you didn't see him open? And I love that that's the narrative. Like, oh, why didn't he throw that ball? You stand back there and have a guy like Texas Tech's defensive ends ready to hit you in the face, and you have a quarter second to process. Oh, there's a middle of the field safety. I don't throw this. Oh, he's too shallow. I can throw it. But that's the sort of feel that I think comes from experience.
Yeah, but that is a problem with him.
It is. It's a major problem.
That's really what held him back. So I think it's good for fans to hear you say that can get better. Joey says it too. And I won't speak for Joey. I'll talk to him about it on Friday. But he has said many times the game will slow down for Dante Moore. It typically does, depending on the number of starts you get.
Yes.
And I want to remind people, I've said this all season, but I want to remind people, Dante Moore, I think he's at 23 starts. It may be 20. I'm not sure. Dylan Raiola is about the same.
It's not a lot.
It's not that many.
It's less than 20.
Yeah. Is it less?
It's less than 20.
Okay, so it's not that many. Remember, you guys are spoiled because you watched Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel. Yep. And I've got to remind you that Bo Nix, what was the talk about Bo Nix this first 2 or 3 years?
He was a washout.
Exactly. He took a lot of heat. But then Bo Nix, after about 55 starts, because Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel are two of the two quarterbacks in college football history that have the most starts, right? Because they capitalize on the COVID stuff and all that. So those guys are two of the more experienced guys you've ever watched, and you had them back to back. That, I think, has spoiled people to maybe thinking that Dante Moore isn't that or can't be that. No, he can. And he's not going to get 60 starts. But think about that. That's 30 starts. That's 2 seasons away. Yeah. How experienced Nix and Gabriel were in terms of number of starts on the college level than Dante Moore. That's the difference between what you're seeing with Dante Moore right now and what you saw with Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel, who are much more polished, right? So like somebody says on the text line, Dante Moore doesn't have the it factor. No, I think Dante Moore does have the it factor.
Clean up the other stuff.
It just hasn't come out yet because the game has not slowed down for him enough yet. He'll get there, but he has to have enough experience. And him coming back to get that experience says a lot about where his priorities are. And I think it's great.
He's 20 years old, for God's sakes. And I get the people when you're saying he doesn't have the it factor. I would push back and say,
he made some big plays, man.
The first throw he made in overtime against Penn State where he sidestepped an All-American who was running untouched and sidearmed a ball to the end zone, I think it was to Gary Bryant Jr., that's an it factor. The throw he made, I think it might have been to Benson or McClellan, the throw against Indiana when they needed to go down and kick a field goal to win the game, and he ripped that ball. Beautiful coverage on the part of Iowa, and it was a perfect throw. Those are the it factor. I'm telling you, the it factor throws are there. It's not the it factor. It's the little subtle things about playing that position. I think sometimes the big throws are where he really excels.
Or off script.
Yes, he just has to become more comfortable about playing the position. And I know I'm not a quarterback, but I'm telling you, I was a good player my junior year. I wasn't Dante Moore, and I wasn't, not first round NFL crap or whatever. But I went from being a pretty good player my sophomore year. First years, I'm just trying to figure it out and not be a fat idiot. Sophomore year, good start. Junior year, all conference, really good player. Felt really good about myself. The jump I made between my junior and senior year, I became a completely different player. Everything slowed down. And for some people, it happens early. But I'm telling you, there are times in college, a lot of times it happens in the spring, where you take a kid that was kind of an average player or an athlete, and all of a sudden you go out to spring and you're like, what the hell? That guy's unblockable. That guy's uncoverable, because the light goes off. And it doesn't go on for everybody. Cade Klubnik, the light didn't go on. Garrett Nussmeier didn't go on. Towards the end of the season, it started to come on from Arch. Arch Manning went from, oh my God, this is one of the biggest busts, to we've got something. If the light comes on for Dante Moore, he will be scary good.
It will. It's just a matter of time, I think. All right. Dante Moore returning to Oregon. We'll move on to Miami, Indiana. Fun fact, next on The Fan.
FM and 1080 AM.
Well, I'm back and we're off the clock. Steven, well, he was, look, in Steven's defense, he was saying break. Maybe 6 minutes before we broke?
Yeah, we plowed right through that.
Yeah. I mean, I hear it, but I don't know. If we're having a good combo.
I don't know. I got to call you back. Got to
It's a loose guideline.
That's what.
You know what? It is a loose guideline.
Yeah.
It really is. And not only that, but, well, never mind. We don't need to get into that. I was going to take a shot at Odyssey, but I've grown.
Look at you. You've pulled a Dante Moore. You've grown and evolved in only your 22nd year of starting.
Yeah. 22nd year, I think.
Yeah. I don't know what that makes.
2005.
I don't know what that makes
20.
you as a super duper senior, but
I'm a slow learner.
Way to go.
You know.
Hey, you finally got it.
But we work at Odyssey. So anyway, what was I going to tell you?
I don't know. Break?
Well, we got a break. Well, are we fired up for Miami, Indiana, or are we not?
I am, but it feels like the transfer portal and the NFL are kind of killing this, and also.
Wait, what? Why are the what? What do you mean?
The transfer portal has been a bigger story this week than the national title game.
Oh.
I also think that ESPN, because it's not the SEC, I swear to God, they're slow playing this thing.
Yeah, they don't care about Big Ten and
doesn't feel like
ACC.
Doesn't feel like that narrative is getting pushed quite as hard as it should.
When you go look at ESPN.com, there's nothing talking about the game. Basically, there's WNBA stuff.
It's weird.
Yeah, there. I mean, it is.
It to me, the coverage of it has just fallen off a cliff, and I'm standing there. I talked about it yesterday. I was like, what am I missing? Like, this is the greatest story in college football history. You've got Miami, who's playing at home. I don't know if we've ever had a national title team play at home for the national title, trying to resurrect one of the great historical programs in college football. And the headline on ESPN is Anthony Davis's stupid hand and the WNBA negotiations and the transfer portal. I've heard more about the stupid kid from Colorado, that Seton transfer kid, and how much he's asking than Indiana trying to cap one of the great seasons in history.
If this is Georgia or Alabama, ESPN is talking about, is this the best team of all time?
Yes.
Because they are rolling through teams in the playoff. Yet we haven't heard a peep because they beat Alabama by 35 and beat Oregon by 35.
Is it possible, just raising the idea, just
Go for it.
putting it on the table,
Yeah.
that people, like the audience, really doesn't care about Indiana, Miami? I mean, is it possible that the Indiana story isn't that interesting to a lot of the college football world? Even though I agree with you
I don't know
about it.
I'll look and see what the ratings are. I didn't see what the ratings were for the Peach Bowl. I'll look.
Well, that's always their argument for the NCAA tournament, is that you want Cinderellas in the first round. Where Indiana, again, not a Cinderella, but they're not the team.
They're not a
think.
household name.
Right.
21 mil.
Good
so.
story. Yeah, see, I think household name's more important than good stories in terms of if you're talking about the
casuals.
Yeah, the casuals and the ESPN.coms. Like they want. So I'm just raising the idea that perhaps they're just putting out information that based on the number of clicks it's getting. Maybe Indiana Miami stuff isn't getting any clicks.
It did do better than the Miami Ole Miss, the Fiesta Bowl. It averaged 16 and peaked at 17. And that was a game that came down to the wire, whereas Indiana was a blowout and still did a better number. So
what was the most watched playoff game so far?
I'm assuming Ohio State Miami. I'll take a look.
All right. Well, you look that up. We'll come back and
what game was that? Do we know? Was that what bowl game was that?
Yeah.
I don't remember what that was called.
Fiesta Bowl, maybe?
No, the Fiesta Bowl was
the last one.
That was the last one.
I want to say that was in Dallas.
I'll take a look. I'll find it.
Which one's that? Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl?
I bet it was the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
All right. You get on that.
I'm on it.
Bowl games matter.
We'll be right back with a little Miami, Indiana talk on the Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. He has announced that he will return to Eugene for one more season. Moore is projected to be the number 2 quarterback in the NFL draft. It says, I want to be back in Eugene for one more run. While All-American safety Dylan Thieneman, he announced he will be heading to the NFL draft. He's projected to be a top 50 pick. And wide receiver Malik Benson announced he is also heading to the NFL. An NFL wide receiver is calling it quits. That's Adam Thielen. He's retiring, announced on social media today. He played 13 NFL seasons, last played for the Steelers. He had 703 catches, which ranks him 4th all-time for undrafted players. Blazers got railroaded last night by the Warriors, 119-97. No Denny Avdia for the Blazers last night. As he nurses a hurt back. Blazers take on the Hawks tomorrow. 49ers linebacker Fred Warner made it clear that he hasn't ruled out returning from a fractured and dislocated right ankle. The Niners opened up Warner's practice window yesterday, and Warner said they are taking it day by day, which leaves open the possibility of him playing against the Seahawks up in Seattle on Saturday. We'll have that game live here on The Fan. The new Wizards star point guard Trae Young, he is still recovering from an MCL and quad injuries. He will be reevaluated after the February All-Star break. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
I think it's really sexy.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to me. I'm back.
Absolutely welcome back.
Yeah, thanks.
That's not the same without you. Man. We need you in this lineup.
Well, here I am.
Yeah.
Is this where I tell him I'm going to Mexico in a week and a half?
Well, good for you.
Well, I got to watch my kid get married. I can't miss that.
Well, he's already been married. You're lying.
Well, it's the ceremonial portion of the
understand
of the nuptials.
There you go.
Well, listen, I was looking up the college football playoff ratings because look, I'm just suggesting, and I'm with you. ESPN, look, if it's not the SEC, there is different coverage.
Yeah,
and that stands to reason because they're in bed with the SEC. They have the SEC contract. But I also think at ESPN.com they want clicks, and they will, if it's getting clicks, they'll put it out there, and I just wonder if Indiana, particularly Indiana-Miami specifically, is really interesting to the college football world. I'm not sure that it is. So the ratings, and I'm with you, I'm interested in it. I think it's an awesome matchup, actually. I think if anybody can drag Indiana down into deep water, it may be Miami with that defense. But the ratings, shockingly, the number 1 rated game in the college football playoff this season had
Indiana.
Alabama.
Well, yeah.
SEC.
The SEC. The Rose Bowl was the biggest. So that drew 24 and peaked at 26 million. That was
Indiana, Alabama.
Alabama.
It was a blowout.
Yes.
This would be ESPN's point. The second largest or the second highest rated game so far in the playoff, at least according to what I pulled up here, is Miami, Ohio State. Again, big brand Ohio State, not the SEC, but big brand Ohio State. I think Miami's a pretty big brand too, don't you think? Even though they're ACC.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like your traditional.
No, but
ACC.
Miami is a national.
They're
brand.
a national brand,
yes.
probably more, certainly more so than Oregon. But then you look at Oregon, Texas Tech. You look at Indiana. Their ratings are kind of based on who they play. Like Oregon played James Madison, and they got 4 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Ohio State plays James Madison. That gets what? 10, 12 million, right? Like they're just bigger. The big brands draw, and Indiana is not that. So Indiana, Oregon got 18 million. That's the same as Ole Miss, Georgia, an SEC game. So I don't know. I'm just raising the point that perhaps the country is not caring about Indiana the way we are.
It's possible. I mean, it's because you do get in your own little bubbles. I just think this is such a cool story, and I really find Indiana fascinating and can't take my eyes off of it. But you're right. Maybe the rest of the country, especially like heavy football markets, if you're down in the South or you're back east somewhere, maybe Indiana's just a big fat eye roll, and you're just disgusted at like, oh my God, like I can't believe Indiana's here.
Yeah, I think that's it. I just think when it comes to the masses, when you're talking about big blanket statements about sports,
sure,
it's all about brands.
Yeah,
it's way less about stories because people don't really. They want to see what they know.
Yeah.
And they know Alabama, and they know the SEC. The SEC is just...
It's a valid point. If this is, we all complain when Georgia and Alabama play for a national title, but I'll bet you that number is enormous. In fact, one of the highest-rated college football games of all time was not the national championship. It was the semifinal. It was the Rose Bowl. It was Michigan and Alabama. When Michigan and Alabama played, that was the Jalen Milroe game.
Huge game.
When that came up short. That was a freaking monster number.
And then what did Michigan-Washington get?
I'll bet you the Rose Bowl. I'll look it up, but I'll bet you that Rose Bowl was a bigger number.
Because that's a good comparison too.
Yeah.
So anyway, screw ESPN though. Yeah,
not a big fan.
I'm not either.
But
I'm also not a big fan of Fox, so I don't know what to do.
I just think ESPN has done damage. I just think there's.
I don't think they've done a good enough job. They should be better.
That's a better. Yes.
They should just be better than they are.
Yes.
They've been kind of a mess.
I would agree.
But because they're kind of unrivaled in the big brand ESPN, they sort of get away with it. But as a sports fan, I want a lot more from ESPN than I get.
And it's disappointing to me because all the hot takey garbage crap that they've gone to, like I always sit there and I'm like, how do people consume it? But
they love it.
Maybe they have to. Maybe it's
a thing.
That's a thing because maybe that's what people want to see.
That's the Alabama. It's the red meat.
Yeah, we can sit there and complain about Stephen A. Smith, but if that dude didn't drive numbers, they wouldn't pay him that.
The problem with ESPN is they control college football. They control the playoff. They control who's in the playoff, and we saw that with the selections of all the SEC schools. Like Oklahoma should not have been in the playoff. Alabama, you could argue, probably shouldn't have been in the playoff. You could put other teams in there, but they're going to match them up and try to move them along. And so they're always pushing their narrative of trying to get the SEC on because they want Paul Feinbaum yelling against Stephen A. Smith on whatever the show they have in the morning.
And again, I'll defend him in one area. That gets better ratings.
Yeah. The fact that Mad Dog Russo has had a career resurgence, like he was irrelevant after that show split up in New York, and he admits it, that going on that stupid First Take show brought him to an entirely new generation and made him relevant again. And I'm like, he was done. It was over. And then we opened the door and we let him back in. And by the way, the Rose Bowl, the Rose Bowl did better TV numbers.
Wait, who are you talking about?
So Alabama, Michigan.
Yeah. Was that the Rose Bowl?
That was the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So that drew an average of 28.5 and peaked at over 33.
That's big time matchup.
Almost 34
Two
mil.
big brands, yeah.
And Michigan and Washington in the national title averaged 25 and peaked at 27 and some change.
Oh, better than I thought.
So it did a good number, but it was not the game before that. The semifinal game was a bigger watched game.
So do we think Indiana Miami will rival Michigan Washington? 25 mil?
I don't know, man. I
don't know either. I don't know if it hits that.
I think this will be a lesser number. I really do.
I do too.
I can't recall a game. Maybe Georgia TCU. That was pretty sleepy. This just feels odd. Normally we have better coverage, better build-up. You can tell.
Well, the NFL playoffs too.
Yeah, the NFL playoffs.
They were awesome last weekend.
It's just this. That's a different animal. I mean, God, they drew. Was it the Packers and the Bears that were on Prime?
Yes.
Yeah, they drew like 33 million people, 31, 33, something like that on subscription. Like that's a whole other animal. Like don't even compare anything to the NFL.
But I'm saying they have to compete with.
They have to compete. It's just like when you get ready, no matter what it is, you can tell when there's juice behind something. It's like a big heavyweight fight, whether it's boxing or UFC or whatever. You can tell when stuff has buzz. People are talking about it. People on the street, like in the gym or whatever, your buddies would be like, "Hey man, have you heard about this or who do you got?" I haven't heard squat. I haven't had one person come up to me and been like, "Hey, what do you think of this Indiana Miami?" It's just not.
Is it because Indiana's rolling everybody?
It's possible.
I mean, it just kind of feels like a foregone conclusion.
I think the spread's now up around 8.
Yeah,
8.5 last night.
Is it 8.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels like there's not a lot of sauce behind
Well, they
this.
hammered Alabama. They hammered Oregon.
I know.
My God.
It feels like that LSU Joe Burrow team, except with a bunch of dudes that before this year you've never heard of.
Here's my stat. I saw this. Where did I see that? I don't remember. Indiana, they do a rolling high school recruiting and transfer ranking on 24/7.
Yeah.
Do you know where Indiana ranks for 2025?
Oh, it's got to be.
This is transfers and high school.
It's got to be somewhere in the 30s or 40s. I'm guessing
72. They are lower than Oregon State, and I'm not kidding.
Oh, Beaver fan,
dude, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. And everyone's saying like, well, Fernando Mendoza, he was like a 2-star kid, and he was an afterthought at Cal. I remember him at Cal, and people being like, oh, he's all right. And I don't think anyone was clamoring for him in the transfer portal. And then he goes to Indiana, he wins the damn Heisman Trophy.
The only thing we remember about Fernando Mendoza at Cal was the game against Miami when they played, when game day was there and there was controversial calls and Miami and Cam Ward got the win.
Yeah.
He had nothing substantial at Cal.
And I remember he beat Stanford and he gave one of those weird now famous Mendoza speeches where he talked about his boys and his post-game stuff is it's eccentric to say the least. I remember that.
Is he going to the Dorky Hall of Fame?
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
Him and Andrew Luck are going to be the defining.
Does that stuff fly in the NFL locker room?
If you're good.
Yeah. If you can sling it, they don't
If
care.
you can sling it, you can be weird. You can be weird and eccentric. They'll make fun of you a little bit, but if you can sling it, now if you're not very good, boy, they sniff you out real, real fast. And by the way, you don't get long in an NFL locker room to prove that you're good. Like it can happen. They can turn on you real, real quick. But he'll be the number 1 pick. And now, by the way, that pick, because there's really not another quarterback. I mean,
let's talk about that next.
Yeah.
I want to talk about him. I want to ask you about him on the NFL level because I think that's an interesting prospect of him going to the Raiders. A couple texts here, 503-864-6326. Geez, Beef fans just trying to drive home in the fog, still catching strays from Rob. Well, that wasn't that was actually a compliment. Doesn't that make you feel better?
No,
you're as good as Indiana.
I don't think
yes,
it does.
Indiana's 72. That means you could do it too, way down there in the 70s.
Oregon State just lost their defensive coordinator to Memphis before he ever coached a game.
I wondered if I was wrong about my report that was the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So they hired the defensive coordinator, and now he's gone already?
Yes.
Where did he go?
Memphis.
Oh, F him. He sucked anyway.
You didn't lose to – it's one thing if like Utah, because they lost another coach to Utah, or if like, I don't know, Texas comes and takes your guy, but dude, your guy got ripped away by
your guy wasn't any good anyway.
Memphis!
They corrected their mistake.
It's not good.
Memphis helped you correct a mistake.
It's not good.
That guy sucked.
And then their coach came out and gave this weird answer about spending. Shepard, their new coach. Someone asked him about
I always forget his name. Jamarcus
Shepard. They asked him about the NIL spending and like on the roster and things, and he kind of hit you with we're doing the best we can and no excuse. You just got outbid by double by Memphis for your defensive coordinator. Oregon State is number 1 in spending in the new Pac-12 only in one area and one area only. Athletic director. Their athletic director makes more than anyone else, and it's not even close.
Dude, that guy has stolen money from them. He ought to be behind bars.
He should be working in the White House.
Yeah, no kidding. And then the other text was, the national championship game had no buzz last year either. And it was Ohio State and Notre Dame. The schedule kills the momentum. That's a good point. That's a good point about the college football. Because one, you're going up against all the NFL playoff stuff. It's too late, and it takes, what was another 10 days before they play? Well, now it's not, but they go Friday all the way to the next Monday. It's like, God, it takes forever.
As everyone says, end it on New Year's in the Rose Bowl.
All right, we'll be right back. Fernando Mendoza in the NFL, buying or selling when we return on The Fan. Before we get to Mendoza, I did think of something that I wanted to say about ESPN. I want to give them credit for one thing. So I don't watch a lot of ESPN. I think it sucks.
I would agree.
Unless there's a game on. However,
I like Van Pelt too. I'll give him that.
Van Pelt's the best thing they have going. He's excellent at what he does, and but he's still, it's just like sports news, right?
Yes.
It's Sports Center.
Yeah, he does Sports Center.
The other two guys, there are two. I don't know their names, but the two bros that do Sports Center, and I'm not even sure what time. I think it's in the evening. They're pretty funny. Have you?
I don't know who you're. I mean,
one's like
that's
kind
the
of
most. Can I just say this is the most Rob thing ever? There's this movie I watched the other day, and it had these two bros in it, and it's really funny. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You would know if you've seen them. You would know they're pretty good. In other words, the old days of SportsCenter anchors being like big personalities.
Yes,
they don't really do that much anymore. That's why these guys are kind of nameless, but they're actually pretty good together. One guy's a little Asian guy, and the other guy's a white guy, kind of goofy.
I tried everything. We played 4 white guys and an Egyptian.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried everything.
I don't know, one guy maybe Egyptian. I'm not sure. I don't know. They're pretty good. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about, Steven?
No idea.
Really?
You just said bro. These two bros. I mean,
two guys that do SportsCenter?
Why does that have to be two guys? I feel like this is getting into awkward territory. Quite frankly, it's making me uncomfortable.
I don't know. I think they're pretty good. Anyway,
I just love that you can't give me anything other than I think one of them's Asian.
Yeah, he looks Asian.
I think they're guys, and I think they do SportsCenter.
So
Let me look him up.
This might be who you're talking about.
Let me look him up.
Randy Scott and Gary. Is it?
Still don't know.
Streisky?
Randy Scott and Gary. Yeah, here we go.
Is that who?
Let me look. I'm looking. Yeah, those guys.
Okay.
Which one's Randy and which one's Gary?
Randy, I believe, is the Asian guy.
Randy. Okay.
Or the guy that you think is Asian.
He
now,
looks Asian.
I do remember they did the.
They're pretty good.
They recreated the Coldplay moment, like where they were. I remember that going viral. They were like hugging each other.
Yeah.
In the prom sort of way. His arms were around him. So I don't see them very often, but I am aware of. Them.
I think they host SportsCenter.
But you don't know.
No, I don't know.
So you just have
because, like I said, I don't really watch it all that much. But when I do, I see them, and I find them to be entertaining.
Okay. The only time that I really tune into ESPN and stick around other than a game is Van Pelt does the right after the game is over. If you're watching a game and it goes like when you're watching Miami and they knock off
well, like
Ole
last
Miss,
night when Kansas dominated Iowa State. I don't know if you saw that.
I
but,
saw the number 2 team in the country got a little bitch slapped by the jock.
Rock Chalk. Then they go to Scott Van Peasy.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's the only time I watch ESPN.
No.
Is Kansas ranked, by the way? I don't think they are.
No, but we will be after that. That was a beatdown.
Boy, you want to talk about a beatdown? I know we've been a lot of Oregon today. Did you happen to see?
I didn't watch it, but I saw the score.
Is Masters Pete somewhere just chuckling?
Yeah, he's already texted me today to fire Dana Allman. Like,
and by the way, Masters Pete may finally get his wish.
Yeah.
This
may fire him.
This may be the end of.
Well, look. Okay,
of Dana
but
Allman.
can we? Damn it. So the Mendoza thing I want to get to. Okay, we're going to get to that.
Can we talk about his weird kicker face mask and that it just inside the helmet, the face just looks weirder than it is?
I have a very hard time with because Dana Altman very well may move on. They may mutually agree to part ways.
Yeah.
They may fire him. I don't know. Look, it's not good. Okay,
no.
But I have a really hard time when people like Pete. Yes, I'm calling you out, Pete. Who have been saying fire Dana Altman all this time,
years.
Now are like, see? That'd be like saying fire Suk. Suk sucks. I hate Suk. Well, Suk's been on for 20 effing years.
Yeah.
Okay, you may not like Suk, but Suk has had a successful radio career. And I was like, no, I told you he's going to get fired. Yeah, 20 years later. So you were wrong until you were right. I hate that. Dana Altman has done a very good job at Oregon.
Yes, he
Look,
has.
I don't know what's going on there now. They suck. Maybe it's time to move on. But Pete better not be crowing about, see?
I knew it all along.
Dude, he's been great for them.
Even in the Final Four run, should have been gone.
He did.
Yes.
He said that. He's hated him the whole time.
The whole time.
I don't know why, but he has.
He has been sending those text messages for years. All I know is that was like the worst loss in like a decade. You lost by 35, and I don't know if you saw that their next 2 games are Michigan and Michigan State. This is not This is about to go from bad to worse.
Hey, March, baby, March.
Yeah, just wait.
It's all about March.
Just wait. You're not going to see.
Altman gets them to peak at the right time.
NIT, baby. What? Not the NIT. Is it? The CBI?
Yeah, CIT.
CIT
back in the day.
I smell a CTE championship coming on for Oregon. They're going to peak right at the appropriate time.
They had like the Players Championship, I want to say, last year. I think Oregon State played in some tournament in Vegas, like the Players. So, yeah.
Something like that.
There's lots of tournaments for you now.
I think it's cute that Kansas, I was looking up, you guys also got votes in the top 25. That's adorable.
Thank you.
I wouldn't know because I went to a basketball school. We're 15-1.
Be careful, dude. They looked really good last night. Now, I have to tell you, for those
are we talking about BYU being 15-1? Are we talking about the powerhouse of the Big 12?
For those that are not following college basketball, Kansas has sucked balls this year.
It's not good.
And I texted but I've got my Kansas buddies that I went to school with that we text back and forth. I'm like, dude, I can't even watch them anymore. I'm so fed up with this crap. They're terrible. Bill Self's 1 foot out the door. This sucked. Darren Peterson's a candy ass. F all of this. I'm out. And then
you're back.
They host Iowa State, the number 2 team. I'm like, dude, they're going to get smoked after having watched them play recently. And they beat them by 25.
Yeah, they drilled them.
So I'm back. And listen, I'm saying this to tell you, Oregon fans, you never know. Dana Altman can coach. Something clicked with them last night. Well, not for Oregon.
No,
but at Kansas,
I can assure you it did not click last night for Oregon.
Sometimes these good coaches, it takes time. They'll get something to click and they can make a run. But I wouldn't bet on it if I'm an Oregon fan this year. But
when I left, I happened to kind of glance at the score, and it was like going into the half. I think it was 12 at the half. But when I looked at it leaving, Oregon was only down by like 2 or 3 points. I got home, I ate dinner, and then I flipped back over. I was going to check in on the Blazer score, which, by the way, that was bad too. But I flipped over the Oregon score, and I literally went, I wonder if they're keeping... No!
Well, they don't have Shellstead.
Shellstead.
And that, I mean...
Well, it doesn't matter.
It does matter. Like, if they're going to make a run, they're going to need him, but they have been bad without him
it's not
last
good.
couple games. So.
Not good.
There's a little college basketball. Impromptu college basketball talk. We cover it all here. Right, Steven? Thank you.
Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah. Now the people are yelling at their radios like, what do you think about Mendoza for the Raiders? Well,
we'll get there.
The beautiful part of our show is we will get there, and there's another segment that we can throw that right in.
After we talked
probably in the 5 o'clock.
After we talked about the vaguely Asian guy that Rob couldn't identify.
The vaguely Asian guy whose name is Randy.
Well, yeah. Suki also thought the Ducks had a Russian point guard. He turned out to be Chinese.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
Well, we were
the Lin guy or Lee? Or...
Yeah, they were like
He's Russian?
Well, no.
You thought he was Russian?
No. Steven goes, it was Steven or Nemec, one of them was like, can you even name any Oregon players? I was like, yeah, Shellstead and Biddle. And I was like, wait, they got that foreign guard,
They got
too.
that Russian point guard.
And I was trying to think, I was like, where's that guy from? And I was like, I don't know, is that guy Russian or something? And it was like, no, he's Chinese. I was like, close enough. Hey, Russia and China, you know what? Connected. It's the same thing.
We're all friends here, guys.
All friends here.
China. All right, Mendoza talk later. In the news is next. I have human remains news.
Uh-oh.
Human remains news. Here is Steven with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. He announces that he is coming back to Eugene for one more season. Moore was projected to be the number 2 quarterback in the upcoming NFL draft, but with him coming back, Ducks may be loaded and primed for a championship run, but they'll have to do it without All-American safety Dylan Feynman. He announced he's heading to the NFL draft. He's projected to be a top 50 pick, and they'll also have to do it without wide receiver Malik Benson. He announced on social media today that he also will be heading to the NFL. Wide receiver Adam Thielen, he called it quits. He is announcing his retirement from the NFL. He played 13 seasons, had 703 catches in his career, which ranked him 4th all-time for undrafted players. The Blazers got railroaded by the Warriors, 119-97 last night. No Deni Avdija for the Blazers as he nurses a hurt back. But the Blazers will be back at it tomorrow, taking on the Hawks from the Moda Center. And the 49ers, their linebacker Fred Warner made it clear today that he hasn't ruled out returning from a fractured and dislocated right ankle. The Niners opened Warner's practice window yesterday, and Warner said they're taking it day by day, leaving open the possibility of him playing when the 49ers are up in Seattle on Saturday. You can catch that game live here on The Fan. And new Wizards point guard Trae Young, he's still recovering from MCL and quad injuries on his right leg. He'll be reevaluated after the All-Star break. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks, don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The
And this is gonna bother you, and I'm calling out ESPN because whenever we like do videos together, it should always be because it's Isaac and Suk. You should always be on the left and me on the right.
Right.
Those sons of bitches at ESPN.
Oh.
It said under there, they had the names under there. Randy Scott was under the Asian guy, and they had it as Gary and Randy. They not only had the names flipped, but who was first in the picture. Turns out Gary,
the worst.
Streisky, he's the Asian guy.
Oh, okay.
Randy is the white guy.
Got it. So you were fooled.
I don't like that they.
That is on them. I hate it when. Yeah. That's like the time when. Remember when Jordan Kent did Blazers games?
Yes.
And he would sit on the right.
It's weird.
Of Lamar Hurd.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I don't know. There should be, without rules, there's chaos.
Yeah.
So you can't just have wrong names underneath people, as if we're supposed to know that the guy with the Polish name is the Asian guy. So it turns out his dad is Polish, the mom is Korean.
So you'll see, like, we're on the Winterhawks video board.
Yeah, like the hype board.
Film some videos for that.
Yeah.
So we always make sure that I actually stand to your right.
Yes.
Because
Isaac and Sue.
If my name comes first, you have to associate the first guy on the left.
Yes.
With the first name.
It makes sense.
And Randy and
when they
apparently ESPN needs to call us.
When they put it below and it says Isaac and Sue, you should be under Isaac.
Steven, you get this, right?
Makes tons of sense, yeah.
Being a radio man.
Yeah.
A radio man. It's brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Today is International Kite Day.
I know you're not a big fan of the kite.
Oh, God, I think kites are so stupid. I mean, good for kids, I guess, but I think that kites show how dumb we are.
Well, I think it's more like back in the day, it shows that there wasn't anything to do, so you flew a kite and then you went and waved at ships.
Okay, well then,
because what else were you supposed to do?
Maybe it shows how uncreative we are.
Whatever. It should have stayed in the 1990s then.
Well,
why would anyone think flying a kite is fun?
If you were around like in 1910,
or even remotely
outside of trying not to get polio, the only thing you could do was fly a kite, and so it's a nostalgia thing.
Yeah, but I just feel like, again, that says like you thought that was cool.
Yeah. What else were you doing?
Well, get creative. This is what I'm saying. Humans are idiots. The fact that we think kites are cool, we're morons.
What should we do today? Get polio or fly a kite?
I disagree. I think in 1910, flying a kite was probably the pinnacle of
Go
excitement.
ride a horse.
Horses were expensive.
Horses were awesome.
You just run out. That's like saying go get a car. If you were 8 years
old, go get a shot of whiskey at the local saloon.
If you were 8 years old, you weren't strapping yourself to a horse or going to play Texas Hold'em at a bar.
Just throw rocks at people.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
you did. That was kick the can. And you played with jacks. I mean, my God, it was the
marbles.
It's the turn of the century.
Roll in the mud.
That was a
like
thing.
Real kids.
Yeah.
There's also Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day.
Oh, I love good hot pastrami. Shout out to the Kettle. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's over by the Keller. Some of the best hot sandwiches and soup game. The soup and sandwich game at the Kettle. God bless you. Some old lady that runs it too. She's been there like 1,000 years. Love that place.
Sure, she will love that ringing endorsement.
I don't know.
The super old lady.
Some old lady been there 1,000 years.
Look, I've been going there forever, and I've
Great soup, though.
I have never walked into those doors and not had that lady there. She works there from morning to night, dishing up hot soups and delicious hot pastrami sandwiches. I recommend the gumbo or the chicken noodle, and then you get yourself one of the hot pastramis. Oh, so you won't finish it. It's an insane amount of food.
Human remains found on a beach on the central Washington coastline nearly 20 years ago have now been identified as belonging to a former Oregon mayor who went missing while crabbing in 2006.
Oh no.
Clarence Edwin Ed Asher was 72. He was pronounced legally dead after he was presumed to have drowned. He was in Tillamook Bay in September of 2006. Nearly 2 months after Ed's disappearance in November, human remains were found on a beach way down south, which is an unincorporated village on the Indian reservation down there. The Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office and Coroner's Office worked to identify the remains, but after a lengthy investigation and no results, the person became known as Grays Harbor County John Doe.
Well, I'm guessing after 20 years in the water, there's not a lot left. I mean, all the little, the aquatic creatures, they've been nibbling at that thing.
Well, they said that just last year, the coroner's office sent forensic evidence from John Doe down to a lab in Texas where they did manage to extract DNA, and they built a profile, and they used genealogy.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, genealogy.
That's right.
All right. And samples from relatives of Ed to confirm that he was the person in the John Doe case.
Does that provide some closure to the family, maybe? I mean, you knew that he wasn't. How old was he when he disappeared?
72.
So, like, he wasn't going to be 90.
He was old like the lady who serves soup.
I don't know if she's 90. Well, I know, like, when a kid goes missing, the family always holds out hope no matter what. But when you go missing and you're 72 and then it's 20 years later, no one thinks that you're popping up out of the water like Aquaman anytime soon. But there's probably some closure there. And man, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a long-ass time. Seemed like a decent man. I'm looking here at the photos. Had a good mustache.
Who is he a mayor of? What town?
Did
I say that?
No, I don't think he did. He said he was a former
just a
Oregon
mayor.
mayor. We don't know where.
Didn't say. Maybe they don't want us to know.
It's possible. Maybe he had a. No, I'm not gonna say that.
What? What?
Nothing. I was gonna say something. I was like, dude, the guy passed
desecrate
away.
Ed's
Exactly.
grave
I was like,
20
hey,
years
shut
later.
up. Caught myself. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that to Ed.
That's why he's a pro.
Yeah.
Is downtown's office space occupancy problem improving?
I'm gonna say no. I don't know if you've seen the cost of the downtown buildings lately, but it's not going great.
Hey, you could have got Big Pink for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Somebody did.
Yeah,
They both sold. Both the big ones sold last year.
Yeah, for like nothing.
Yeah, peanuts. Like not even. I mean, like
I think the Big Pink
50 million or something.
I don't think that. I think the Big Pink sold for like 30 something in change, and it last sold for like 300. I mean, and they're auctioning off. I think you were gone, but they brought in. I think Christie's. They're auctioning off the Ritz condos. They can't sell them.
How much do they auction them off for?
I think they're starting at 50% off. And
really,
yeah, there's some people that are like, yeah, we'll wait and see if those drop even more.
Yeah.
My guess is some corporations at that point will probably start buying them and holding on to them.
Don't they have like weird beams in there and stuff? Who told me that? Somebody looked at one of those once and they said they were weird structurally.
I have a buddy of mine that's been sitting on these for like a year, and he's just waiting. He's like, come to Papa. He's waiting for those 2 bedrooms to collapse. He's like, because I was like, are you going to go to the auction? He goes, no. He goes, not all of those will sell at auction. And then the price really gets low. It's a bunch of people just waiting to see how bad this can get.
Is it one of those where you have to have cash? And
I'm guessing.
Like,
I'm guessing there's probably some terms. It's not going great, though.
Well, is it? We'll find out next on The Fan.
The Oregon Duck
looked it up. Big Pink, by the way, the Swickard guy that owns all the Swickard automotive dealerships.
Never heard of him.
Oh, if you look around, you'll see the Swickard dealers. They're all over the country, and they're locally here too. My man bought it for I think he said $45 million, and in 2015 it sold for close to $400. So.
What a deal!
He got it at a little bit of a discount price.
Well,
and he said he's going to put a bunch of money in it too.
This is in the news, by the way. Jan 14, I think, 2026. Yeah, I mean, the big money bros, they always swoop in when at times like these. They get good deals. This is how they make generational money.
Yeah.
So he bought Big Pink for $45 million.
Yeah.
And then Pac West, the big white one, sold for $56 million, which was a 67% drop from its previous price.
Yeah.
So you could have got a skyscraper in Portland for next to nothing.
It's kind of badass if you can buy a skyscraper. Then just
what would you do then?
I don't think I have any money to renovate it. That's kind of at the top end of my budget. But turn it into like one big. Like how many floors could you knock down and live at the top of it? Would you do a 12-floor sort of giant deluxe apartment in the sky?
Well,
hot chicks room.
If you could afford it, would that be a good investment?
I'm guessing that real estate has probably always been a good investment.
Tell that to the guy who had to just sell it.
I know, but
the group that had to just sell it.
There were people that were doing this in Vegas, right? When stuff in Vegas was going down, and I think it was what's the Wynn guy? What's his name?
Steve Wynn.
No, Steve Wynn.
Yeah.
I think it was Steve Wynn that said I could lose every dollar I have, and I would take it and do it all over again in Vegas because I believe in Vegas. So if you believe in the city, you just double down. The question is, do you believe that in 10 years Portland will be back? Because if you do, bet on it now, and that's a bigger question.
That's what they did.
Yeah. He seems to be a pretty smart guy, by the way. So.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Who is this? Who we're talking about?
The Swickard guy.
Swickard.
Yeah. Jeff Swickard, I believe. When you have that many car dealerships, my guess is you've probably done something right.
Yeah.
Look at you. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I think a lot of rich people think they're just, they're so brilliant, and a lot of them aren't. But
he said that he is going to dump more than what he paid to renovate the building to try to.
Is he going to change the color?
I would assume that's a no because it's such an iconic thing, but
there are over 50 Swickard dealerships.
Yeah,
50.
Bro's got money.
Never even heard of him. Is he from here?
I don't know.
27% of offices across the metro area remain empty in the final quarter of last year. This is compared to 24.4% during the same point of 2024. So it's getting worse downtown.
Yeah.
And they say the real estate firm revealed the vacancy rate increases to 34% when solely looking at Portland's central business district.
You have to admit, I spend a lot of time in downtown, and the foot traffic and like parking and all that, it's never been better. There definitely is not. I think it's gotten better since it was at its peak of crap, but you can definitely tell that the downtown area has not popped back the way it once was.
This says Portland's prolonged commitment to remote work, ongoing concerns about tenant safety, and high tax rates compared to nearby locales hamper the downtown office market and cloud occupancy projections.
Yeah. It's not going great, Bob.
An impending market reset is starting to materialize, but the observed shift in tenant sentiment towards downtown highlights the importance of addressing tenants' public safety concerns to sustain demand long term.
Well, I've heard this written about for years and years that people are saying if you want people to come in, you got to stop raising taxes and you got to become more business friendly to get more people to come back in. I just don't know a lot of people that want to do big business down here. So hopefully someone figures this out and says, hey, man, we got to pull a Spicoli. We got to get some cool rules ourselves like pronto. We'll just be bogus too. I have noticed a couple restaurants and stuff, some bars that are popping up that have recently opened when I'm down there. And on the weekends, I'm seeing more people, but It's a slow grind.
Well, figure it out. Don't we have leaders?
I think we do.
What are they doing?
I ran into the mayor the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was handing out donuts at the Portland Public Parks Center.
Yeah, you told us that already.
Yeah, he was out there.
What kind of donuts?
It was voodoo.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He had the assortments. Actually, can I be honest? He wasn't handing out the donuts. He had a lackey that was carrying the donuts. So he was donut adjacent.
So they have the big pink box?
Yeah. I should have been like, hey, Mayor, why don't you hand out that donut? Why does that guy have to carry the donuts?
Was he wearing white gloves?
No, he wasn't. They did have little napkins that you could take, and then,
Did you take one?
No.
Why not?
I'm not a big,
I like donuts.
Yeah, I do too, but, I don't want to crap on voodoo because it's iconic, but there's too much going on in those donuts. If I'm going to eat a donut, and that doesn't happen very often, it needs to be a simple, an apple fritter, a maple bar. I don't need the 19 different toppings and like 8 inches of frosting. It's too much. It's too much.
They got the Oreo with the peanut butter on it, though.
Yeah, it's too much.
That's good.
And I don't need. I understand that I'm eating a donut, so it's not going to be healthy. But I also don't need 9,000 calories in my donut. Can we just simplify it a little bit?
All right.
I did take a bagel though.
You like cream cheese on your bagel?
Of course.
What kind?
Well, I like the everything bagel. What is it like the everything bagel?
Those are great.
Yeah.
And then I had a little we'd say like a little French onion spread that they had. It was a nice little setup down there at the Parks Department.
Ooh, French onion.
A French onion spread on it was delightful. Although, can I
garlic and herb perhaps?
Yeah. Can we get a toaster though? I'm
roasted tomato.
A little disappointed that it was a cold bagel.
Now, do you have a problem putting different types of spreads on the everything bagel, or can the everything bagel handle all flavors?
I think that's why the everything bagel is the goat of all bagels. It takes all comers.
You can do any spread on it.
Any spread. So
you don't think the roasted red pepper spread doesn't suit the everything bagel?
I think everything suits the everything bagel.
Because see, if I had a choice, I'd put plain spread, plain cream cheese on the everything bagel.
Sure.
Now, if I have an Asiago cheese bagel,
yeah, you got to be careful.
Maybe I'll go roasted red pepper.
Well, and then you get into like the blueberry bagel, you can't be pudding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Like that's
there you go.
There's a
the blueberry has to have plain spread.
Yes.
Right? What else would you?
You
put
really
on
can't. Maybe if you want to do like a strawberry, you could do a little fruit compote thing. But that's why I like the everything bagel. It takes all comers. It's the Statue of Liberty of bagels. Bring me your poor, your weak, your huddled masses. Bring all the spreads. Bring them. And it's going to wrap its velvety arms around you in bagel goodness.
I got to tell you, I'm a sucker for an Asiago cheese bagel.
Yeah, it's got the crusted cheese on it.
Oh, my God.
It's pretty good.
Oh, my
But again,
God,
it needs to be warm.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, well, what kind of...
You want to know why this city's going to hell?
Who eats it dry?
Dry bagels.
Dry guys.
Do people do that? You just take it.
I guess if there's no toaster around.
If you're psychotic.
Well, see, I wouldn't eat a bagel if I couldn't warm it.
I didn't have a choice.
So you just take a bite out of it like a sandwich?
Well, I had a bagel. I ripped it in half. I put some spread on it, and I ate it. That was my choice.
Yeah. See, I can't do that. I think it's a weird thing to hand out if you're also not handing them out.
Well, it was on a table.
No, I get it. I see I'm picturing it in my brain. I think donuts way better to hand out in that setting.
Yes.
Than bagels.
Yeah, the mayor was going around in his lackey handing out donuts. The rest of it was just on a nicely put out table.
Right.
There was some grapes and some.
Yeah.
Other
See, there you
things.
go. See, what I would do is donuts, and then for those that want to be a little bit more health conscious, hand out some delicious fruits.
Yeah. I think they may have had a croissant on there. Different stuff.
I'm glad we talked about.
Shout out to the Parks Department.
All right, well, there is in the news for Jan 14, 2026, brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Headlines next. Quarterback for Oregon. Is he returning? We're going to find out, even though we've already talked about it on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. He announced today that he's going to return to Eugene for one more season. Moore is projected to be the number 2 quarterback in the NFL draft that says he wants to go back to try to win a championship with the Ducks. That won't be the same for All-American safety Dylan Thiemann. He announced he will be heading to the NFL draft. Thiemann is projected by many to be a top 50 NFL pick. And Malik Benson, the stud wide receiver who really emerged at the end of the year, he also will be heading to the NFL. Wide receiver Adam Thielen, he announced he will be retiring from the NFL. He announced that on social media today. He played 13 seasons, had 703 career catches, which ranked him 4th all-time out of undrafted players. And the Blazers got crushed last night by the Warriors, 119-97. No Denny Avdia for the Blazers. The nurses are hurt back, but the Blazers will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Hawks from Moda Center. The 49ers linebacker Fred Warner made it clear today that he hasn't ruled out returning from a fractured and dislocated right ankle. The Niners opened Warner's practice window yesterday, and Warner said that he is taking it day by day, which leaves open the possibility of him playing when the 49ers are in Seattle on Saturday. We'll have the game live right here on The Fan. A new Washington Wizards star point guard Trae Young. He is still recovering from an MCL and quad injuries in his right leg. He'll be reevaluated after the mid-February All-Star break. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe.
All right, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Wednesday. We are your sportsmen. Isaac is my name. And Big Sook's right over there.
Right here.
Look at him. Steven's over there. He's settling in nicely to his new role as our beloved producer. The voice of the fans, as he likes to say. When you're saying something stupid.
The Milwaukee OG comes in.
He comes in, he's like, hey, that's stupid.
Like,
and then
sorry.
the fans are like, yeah. Dumbass. Well, I hope you're having a nice little Wednesday. I already said that. A couple headlines here. Dante Moore is returning to Oregon next season. It's official.
Yes.
He was on ESPN today, and he announced it on there on a weird Zoom call.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
And this was kind of like, people have known this for the last couple of days, but I guess it wasn't 100%. But like when Raiola signed, all of this was worked out. This was not a decision that was made in the last 24 hours. This has been known for a while. It's just couldn't really.
Well, it's a great decision. I mean, I think here's what he said. He says, quote, with this decision, mainly all my life has just been about being as most prepared as I can for any situation I go into. And when it comes to me making my decision, I just want to do what's best for my situation, especially as a quarterback. With my decision, it's been very tough. I've prayed a lot about it, talked to many people, my mentors and people I look up to. With that being said, of course, I'll be coming back to Oregon for one more year, being able to play for the Ducks and reach our goal to be national champions.
It is still kind of weird that he broke it through Adam Schefter and went on ESPN to announce he was coming back, but you know. All good press, right? Go out there, you get your face on.
Well, he's made headlines with it
on national TV, and Bryson Beaver, who was their big high school recruit that came in early, he has now entered the transfer portal. So with Moore coming back and Raiola coming in, he has decided that he will be a short term.
We lost the Beeve.
Yeah, we lost the Beeve. But Achilles Smith Jr., I think, is sticking around as of right now. So we'll see what happens next year. But this is, I mean. You've already lost it out. You lost 3 quarterbacks out of that room. You lost a bunch of backup D linemen. This is what happens. I think Ohio State lost like 29 kids. When people come back, when your entire defensive line comes back, when your quarterback comes back, when you get another guy into the portal, guys aren't going to stick around for 2 and 3 years to be backup. So this is kind of the new run of college football. And it's interesting that when you look at like what Miami does, Indiana, Texas Tech was this way. If you load up on big name starters, your depth kind of goes to poo. It's just you can't stack depth anymore. And all those teams that I mentioned, none of those guys really rotate a lot of players. Like they just kind of, those guys are expected to play a tremendous amount of snaps. So the only downside to that is your depth is going to take a hit and you have to remain healthy throughout the course of the year. But this offseason couldn't have gone any better for Oregon. And on paper now with Dante Moore coming back, I don't think there's really an argument. This is the best roster on paper entering the 2026 season. It's also one of the most expensive rosters that we've ever seen assembled. This was not cheap to put together.
So it says by going back to Oregon, Moore gave up a chance to make nearly $50 million in guaranteed money. Last year's number 2 pick was Travis Hunter, who made $46.65 million fully guaranteed, and that number projects to go up. Moore said, quote, "This year I've had many great throws, many great plays, but at the end of the day, I feel I can still learn so much more. As a kid, since I was 4 years old, I've dreamed about being in the NFL, but this team, we've been through a lot. A lot of people are returning, so we've got some exciting things to come this year. I'm excited to keep pushing my team," end quote.
And I think we can all agree, Dante Moore coming back, it's awesome for Oregon. We all see why he came back, that there needs to be polishing on his game. And
yeah, but that never stopped anybody before.
No, it did not. And this is my point. All right, they'll pay him $5-6 million to come back, and that's a nice chunk of change. But as you stated, he's giving up $50 million, guaranteed money. And to anyone saying that the money will be there, I would like to point out that had they come out last year, top 10 picks would have been Garrett Nussmeier, Lenora Sellers, Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller. And with the exception of Lenora Sellers, who may still end up, going somewhat high, the rest of those guys cost them. Drew Aller cost himself $50 million. I mean, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Drew Aller, it cost himself a lot of money. So yes, Dante Moore from last year and this year, he should have made enough money that if he's smart, he has a nest egg that he will be able to be fine for the rest of his life. But there is no guarantee that he is a top 5 pick next year with a $50 million guarantee. Not when I just showed you. That was the consensus top 4 quarterbacks in this year's draft had they left early, and they didn't. And those guys paid the price.
Well, to quote the great Billy Bob Thornton from a little TV program I've been watching called Landman, you're abandoning a sure thing for a maybe.
Yes.
That's what he tells Demi Moore when she goes to hunt for the big oil hit.
Because the big money, and this is true, it's if you come out and you take your $50 million guaranteed, you got $50 million.
You're good to go.
You're good to go. But does that neuter your development and your let go and your career sputters after that? Because the big money, and this is your landman thing, if you do hit after 4 years in the NFL and you sign that second contract, now you're in $300 million. So that's and you're at $60 million, and that's just going to keep going up. So that's the risk. You're saying, I'm going to come back, develop myself, be better set to have success in the NFL, and end up making, by the time my career is done, make $600 million, as opposed to take my 50 and maybe I'm not prepared and maybe I wash out. Because the number of players that have been successful in the NFL with 20 less starts coming out of college, that list essentially is Cam Newton, and that's about it.
Yeah, he's at the place in his career, and it sounds like he understood this, which I think is refreshing, where he really needed to be like Jordan Love and drop and go to a good team in the NFL and just sit and learn.
And he probably wasn't going to.
And it wasn't going to happen because he was probably going to the Jets, dude. Yeah. And he looked at that and went, I
saw one of the Jets super fans, it was one of the great tweets of the day. Hey, Dante Moore, if we're not good enough for you at 3-14 this year, we're not going to be good enough for you next year when we're 3-14. Bravo to that Jets fan. Well played.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so what happens now with Dylan Raiola? Well, he's hurt, and so he'd probably be back by fall camp, but he gets to sit just like Dante Moore did behind Gabriel and redshirt and rehab and get used to the offense.
And give him some credit, too.
He gets 2 seasons. So if he comes back, so if he redshirts, because he did not redshirt at Nebraska, he will then have 2 seasons as a starter after Dante Moore is gone.
Yeah.
Which is it's a good little setup.
Oregon has set themselves up really well. And give Raiola credit for he has never stuck around anywhere from high school to college. And so the fact that he had some self-awareness to say, hey, let's go to an elite program, take a breath, actually learn how to play the position instead of getting thrown into the fire and, kind of go from there. That takes some guts. It takes some maturity.
Yeah, he's I think Dante Moore's a good kid. And I think next year, assuming he stays healthy, this is really going to benefit him because I think next year the game's going to slow down for him.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a much better, more polished Dante Moore. And that's good for everybody.
Well, going into this year, there was a lot of we know Oregon's talented, but, you got question marks here, and you're relying on freshmen. Next year, all that stuff's out the window. This is the best college football roster on paper next year. And they're really, with the exception of the O-line, which we'll see what happens in the transfer portal, but
they just got the Yale kid.
They got the Yale kid.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
6'5", 305.
Yeah, and he's a multiple-time Ivy League player, but is that an Isaiah World thing? We'll see. I know they may go after the Seton kid out of Colorado, who is a 5-star kid. So we'll see what happens with the O-line. That's the only position you can really say has any sort of question mark, and they really like some of their young kids, and Janoris Wilson and Fox Crater. The interior of the line with Poncho coming back should be pretty solid.
Did you say Fox Crater?
Yeah, Fox Crater.
What a badass name.
It's good. And he's a local kid, too. But all of your receivers, including it sounds like Evan Stewart's basically going to come back. You have another NFL tight end. You got the number 1 tight end in the portal from Penn State coming back. You essentially have a top 3 pick in the NFL draft coming back at quarterback. Your 2 freshman stud running backs, both of those coming back. Your secondaries is coming back. You lose Thieneman, but you bring in the best safety in the portal from Minnesota. Your entire defensive line, all 4 of your defensive line starters are going to be top 3-round NFL guys. This is what you've been building towards. There are no more excuses. This is go time. This is one of the most expensive rosters ever put together. There are no weaknesses to it. And this is going to be one of those, you won the offseason, now go prove it out on the field because this team is stacked.
All right, so coming up next, we got a little late-breaking Seahawks-Niners news, potentially, which we'll get to. The latest on Mike Tomlin's plans and how will Fernando Mendoza fare in the NFL. All coming up on The Fan. was watching the Steelers and Texans Monday in a flu haze, and they showed Art Rooney up there, and I thought to myself, how many Rooneys have there been? Because I feel like I don't follow the Steelers close enough to know anything other than the Rooneys have owned them forever.
Yes.
And there's always an old man Rooney up in the box. That's it.
Yeah.
How many old man Rooneys have I watched over the years?
It's
like,
good.
which one is this?
Now, Art Rooney Sr. is the guy that I think is like the OG, like in like the 1920s or 30s. And then there was an Art Rooney Jr., and I think he's gone. I think it's his kid now. So
but he's still just an old man up in the box.
I believe, and
like the old Art Rooney.
I will have to look at this. I believe you're on your third.
This is the third.
I think this is the
version
third Rooney
of an old man Rooney sitting up in the box, all stoic.
I believe that to be the case, but I'm gonna have to work a.
That seems right.
I'm gonna have to work a Google.
Yeah, because this one, I think they said was Art Rooney the third, which would stand to reason, right? Like senior, junior, and third.
Okay, yeah. So Art Rooney, the original founder, owning the team until his passing. And then, I think I'm mistaken. Then it went to Dan Rooney, who was Art's son, and now we're into Art Rooney the second. So we skipped
only
an Art.
Two Arts.
Yeah, there's two Arts. So we had Art, Dan, and now back to Art.
So there were three. But
three.
one of them was named Dan.
One of them.
All right. Well, I'm glad we covered
You think
that.
Dan's like, what the hell, man? Why can't I be Art?
The Rooneys.
The freaking Rooney. And
they seem like a ball of fun.
And it sounds like under no circumstances will they ever sell. Like they're out of my cold dead hand. Steve, is it Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner?
Yeah.
He said someone offered him $15 billion. He does not have the Dolphins for sale. He said, and you can take it for what it's worth, but he said in an interview a day or two ago that someone unsolicited said 15.
Wow.
And he said, no, I'm going to give it to my kids and all that. But I mean, they say if something's not for sale, you have to come in with an aggressive offer. Yeah, $15 billion, I'm assuming, is an aggressive offer.
So I bring up Rooney because he said in an interview today that Mike Tomlin, he doesn't expect Mike Tomlin to coach.
No.
Next season. It's going to be a TV money grab for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, it sounds like Fox is the odds-on favorite, but anyone would be silly not to want Tomlin. The question is, does he do studio stuff, or do they actually put him in the booth?
I see him in the studio, but
I would think so.
I don't know. How much does he get for that?
A bunch. And he's supposedly, he's only 53. He'll come back to coaching, but
that's what they said about Bill Cowher.
Yeah, and Bill Cowher said a couple years after that, he said he because people would be like, well, Bill Cowher will be a coach at some point. And he said, this is perfect. He goes, I get to spend time with my family. It scratches the football itch. I get to stay connected. I make a ton of money. And he said something like, but I get all the joys, but I don't get any of the bitter losses.
That's right.
So,
well, Gruden said the same thing about broadcasting.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, they don't want the grind of coaching, so staying in broadcasting, they can make a bunch of money and still be in the game. Who knows if that's Tomlin, but Cowher, I looked it up today. Bill Cowher was only 50 when he stepped away from the Steelers.
Yeah.
And Tomlin's 53.
And everyone thought he would come back. And
he's
like,
still on TV.
Yeah.
And he's like 68.
He's probably making, I know he's not one of the main guys, but I'll bet you Bill Cowher still makes a couple $1 million off of that. Because the big money is the play-by-play and color guys.
Could Fred Warner be returning for the Niners in Seattle?
That video of him is kind of crazy.
I didn't see the video.
Yeah, he's out at practice and he's not wearing a brace. He's not wearing nothing. He's running around. he looks full go. Now it's not contact. It's shorts and jersey, but he doesn't. You would have no idea that he had that catastrophic injury. Is it like 3 months ago?
What happened to him?
He broke
the ankle.
He dislocated and broke his ankle. He had the whole ankle.
Is that the one where he was falling off, or he was walking off or he was jogging off to the sideline?
No, that was Dre Greenlaw that blew his Achilles.
That's Greenlaw. That's right.
No, Warner broke it where it was like, don't look. The foot was the wrong way and was flopping there, and that son of a gun.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of
saying don't rule him out for the game.
Yeah, which is
whoa.
Be careful. I saw someone brought up guys that have rushed back like this. it can really affect long-term career stuff. But a lot of that, it's like cartilage, guys with knees. Maybe this is different because it's a broken bone and maybe it doesn't involve the cartilage. I don't know, but I hope he's making a smart decision because Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football. He's a Hall of Famer. Also, great BYU guy. And
he went to BYU?
He went to BYU.
What?
Yeah.
Football and basketball school?
Don't be bitter because we are a powerhouse of everything now. And he went there before we could pay you. So it's a hell of a thing. It's the fact that he's running around and even has a chance to play in this game is insane. You want to talk about like the level of care that guy got? I'm guessing there was maybe some Aaron Rodgers type substance going through that guy's body. That guy got every sort of medical advantage you could get, and good for him.
Well, and how big of a boost would that be for the Niners?
Oh, it's enormous.
Because like you said, their linebacking core is just, it's a corpse of itself.
They started in the last week's game against Philly. It was their 6th and 7th linebacker, and they finished the game with their 7th and 8th linebacker.
God.
They're having to introduce defensive players still.
And they won.
To other teammates because people don't know who they are. They've been there like a couple weeks. And getting Fred Warner back, look, I don't think there's a real path for the Seahawks to lose this game. I mean, they're going to peel the Niners' skin. But I will point out, as crappy as that last game was, and the Niners were absolutely just snuffed out, that game was 13-3. And San Francisco had a chance to make that a one-score game and kind of ended up essing the bed. In the 2 games that they've played, the Seahawks have only scored 26 points combined.
Right.
And you get Fred Warner, the best off-ball linebacker back, and it's 90% or 80% of Fred Warner, and Sam Darnold decides to have a Sam Darnold game. Look, I don't think they're going to do it, but if I'm the Seahawks, I'm not exactly celebrating my berth in the NFC title game just yet.
No, but you want them more than you want the Rams.
Oh, those
were your options.
Yeah, this was the perfect storm.
So yeah, they got the Niners. I don't see where the Niners find offense against them.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like the Eagles' defense is really good.
Yeah.
But the Niners' offense, it found enough to against them. But Seattle's defense is playing even better than that. Like they absolutely shut them down. Yep. But you're right. I guess that's true. That last game,
drag them into deep water and see what happens.
They had that interception.
Yep.
And it really wasn't Purdy's fault. He kind of underthrew it, but
it got tipped up and
it got tipped by
was it McCaffrey?
McCaffrey.
Yeah, on the goal line.
But if they score there, it's 13-10.
Yeah, it's a different game.
But they didn't score. I mean, that's what the Seahawks do. That defense is nasty.
The way to win is Sam Darnold throwing interceptions.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
But the Niners. But see, this is my point about. Yes, that's right, and that's what everybody's scared about the Seahawks.
But that's the only way they're going to win.
Right, but the only way to get that is you have to pressure the Niners do not have a pass rush.
No,
and that's the problem. Darnold is too comfortable. Even though they haven't scored a ton of points against the Niners, that's true. The Niners' defense is still scrappy. Robert Saleh is really good, but Darnold, he's trouble when you're really pressuring him. And he had their offense should have scored 35 that last time against the Niners.
He was 20 of 26.
He had all day to throw. Yeah. And so did Jalen Hurts against the Niners. The Niners have no pass rush.
None.
And so that, I feel like Darnold can be fine.
I'm just saying, if
against the Niners.
If you're the Niners and you make Seattle go 16 plays on you, 7 minutes at a time, and you bow your back, you hold them to a field goal or two, maybe you get a turnover, and you play one of these games where there's 9-10 possessions, this is where you can find yourself in a 13-3 game. And when it's 13-3 or 13-10, that's when you can hang around and make dumb stuff happen like they did against Philadelphia. So they had no offense going in Philly, and they manufactured a couple of big plays. They had the Juwan Jennings little trick play there, a couple really nice route concepts to get McCaffrey open. They manufactured some stupid gimmicky type stuff, and that Kyle Shanahan is the best in the NFL at doing that, of taking an offense that shouldn't really be able to do anything and just say, we're going to manufacture 3 explosive plays, and that's going to be enough. We have to take advantage of that. The problem is, you're right, the defense on the other side of the ball is just insane. It's just it's a Texan level defense, and I'm not certain they can do it. I just think at those 2 games, 13-3 and probably should have been 13-10. And then the first one that they played was 17-13. These games have lent themselves into, God, if the Niners can get into the fourth quarter and it's a 1-score game, don't rule them out. There's some sort of weird Faustian devil curse that they have made where they will continue to be in games, but everyone keeps getting hurt, and yet they find a way to stay competitive.
Well, you know why?
It's that stupid electrical station. I'm convinced that's real.
And football's football.
Football is football.
Football's football.
I have no idea. Like, I am not.
So that's the conspiracy?
I am in no way a conspiracy theory guy.
Except.
I don't know, man. There has to be. How are they this hurt?
So wait,
every single
explain
year?
it. So their stadium.
Their practice facility.
Is that where their stadium is?
I don't think so. I think it's the practice facility.
Okay, their practice facility sits right next to a
big electrical substation.
Yeah.
And there's the Gary Breckett types have come out and said that if you're around like that electromagnetic whatever, like those waves, over time it breaks down your collagen, it weakens your tendons. It's like the idea.
What I read about that was you have to spend so much more time around that than the Niners players do for that to even be a factor.
Well, I mean, there are a lot.
No, he said, I think it was Brecka that was talking about this.
Oh.
He said the people are nobody. It's so easy to just oh yeah, it's got to be that. It's got to be something. Well, let's just explain it with that. Brecka's like, dude, all you have to do is a little research to understand. They do not spend enough time around it for that to be a factor.
I don't need your research, Rob.
Yeah. I do my own research.
And that's why we are where we are, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
How is it that every single player on that team looks like Tarzan and blows out everything?
Are we sure the Blazers don't have that by their practice facility too?
Well, that's possible.
Maybe it's their training program.
I don't know.
Maybe they're just a bunch of wussies.
All I know is if I was the Niners,
I would play in the rain.
I would do a deep dive. I would hire some sort of investigative team to look into my practices versus others, because it is alarming. Like when Kittle blew the Achilles, I just was like, "Are you effing kidding me?" Pearsall's never healthy. It's unbelievable.
So who goes down? When did they play? Is that game Saturday?
It's Saturday.
Who goes down Saturday?
Oh, I mean, Trent Williams came back, so he's playing on that bum hammy. His hammy will pop, right?
I'm just waiting for McCaffrey to go down.
Oh, that's true.
It's a miracle he's still upright.
I think, I'll double check this, but I believe that he has broken the regular season touch record.
Really?
I think he has more touches than any player in NFL history.
And he has not gotten hurt.
He's been the one guy. This again goes back to the Faustian deal. I think Kyle Shanahan did some sort of blood sacrifice with the devil and to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy. But this is where the devil, crawfishes you, and he's like, yes, Christian McCaffrey will stay healthy, but everyone else is hurt.
Well, that's another hole for your stupid.
Well, McCaffrey's been hurt the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. This is a hole for the stupid electromagnetic theory.
No, see, he was hurt. Shanahan talks to the devil.
So wait.
Now he's clean, but everyone else is hurt.
So you got the guy who's always hurt in Christian McCaffrey in this electromagnetic field. Why is he then not hurt?
Again, the electromagnetic energy can only go into so many bodies. Maybe McCaffrey's been on the deep end of the field.
Are we sure McCaffrey's not a robot either? We don't know.
It's true.
Well, if he were, he wouldn't always be hurt. He's not the Tin Man.
Have you seen those robots play sports?
I haven't.
They're doing flips and stuff.
Flips in sports?
Well, shoot half-court shots, do bowling. Maybe those are AI, but
yeah, it's tough to tell. What's AI. I saw one doing parkour the other day, and I was like, God, I hope that's not real, because it's kind of terrifying.
They look real. That's the problem, and that scares me that these robots are flipping around doing parkour.
Don't be scared.
Weird stuff's happening. We got that weird weapon we used on Venezuela now, like where it just makes you like vomit blood and crap your pants. You seen that? Like fits in a backpack.
Why?
The Havana syndrome stuff. We got weird stuff happening out there, man. I'm going down the Aaron Rodgers road. It's all conspiracy theory.
Coming up next, how will Fernando Mendoza fare in the NFL? It is Isaac, that's me, Big Soup, right over there. And here's Steven with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. He announced today that he will return to Eugene for one more season. Moore is projected to be the number 2 quarterback in the upcoming NFL draft, but said he wants to come back, try to win a championship for the Oregon Ducks. While All-American safety Dylan Feynman, he announced he will be heading to the NFL. He's projected to be a top 50 pick by most draft analysts. And Malik Benson, the star wide receiver who really came on at the end of the year, he as well will be heading to the NFL. Wide receiver Adam Thielen, he will be retiring from the NFL, so a spot will be open. He announced on social media today. Thielen, he played 13 NFL seasons, finished the last season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has 703 career catches, ranks him 4th all-time for undrafted players. Last night, Blazers were without Denny Advia with a hurt back, and they got crushed 119-97 by the Warriors. They'll take on the Hawks tomorrow from Moda Center. The 49ers, they're banged up, but they may get a little reinforcement. Fred Warner said today that they're taking it day by day. Warner has not been ruled out from returning with a fracture and dislocated right ankle. They opened his practice window, and he said he may actually play for the Niners up in Seattle on Saturday. We'll have that game live here on The Fan. And new Wizards point guard Trae Young, he's still recovering from an MCL and quad injuries on his right leg. He'll be reevaluated after the All-Star break. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Yeah. We've lost Rob to the water cooler. Now, I did do a little check-in. So Christian McCaffrey broke the 49ers franchise record. So we had 413 total touches. And now we go into the postseason. And so he'll be up. I'm assuming last game he had probably another, 20 plus between carries and receptions. So by the time this is done, he will be up there. Now, the NFL's all-time leader, James Wilder, in 1984 had 492 touches. That was like back in the day when like you had the bell cow backs. It is crazy to think how physical the game was back then, and no one gave a damn about anyone's body.
Yeah, McCaffrey, 15 carries, 6 catches, so 21.
21.
Last week. I expect even a little more against the Seahawks if they have the chance.
So when it's all said and done, he'll be in that 430 to 440 range at least. So he'll be coming close to being top 3 or 4, but that James Wilder 492. Because like Saquon had a lot of, I think the line is 400. Supposedly it's like the mythical, when you get to 400 touches, like be aware that next year you're probably going to fall off. Like people were asking like what happened to Saquon Barkley. Yeah, the old line. Yeah, like when you ride someone like that, there is a lot of wear and tear on those tires. But yeah, back in the day, man, those guys, which is why all those guys' bodies now are just cooked. But yeah, it was like Eddie George had 450 touches multiple times.
That's insane.
They just turned it around and handed it to him. And that wasn't like catching the ball. That's between the tackles doing some tough running.
How old's McCaffrey?
Oh, he's probably 30 now, right?
29.
29?
Okay, so how do we feel about Mendoza as a pro?
It seems to be, he will be the number 1 pick.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
And then I've seen various opinions. There's one dude who used to be a scout for the Jets, and he's not a scout anymore, but he's a big Twitter voice, and he's claiming 4th round pick, the evaluation on him, and everyone's kind of thinking that guy's a moron. But there's the concerns on Mendoza are as follows. He plays in a very heavy RPO system in Indiana, which in the NFL, that is kind of a trend that has gone by the wayside a little bit. He does everything really good. He doesn't do everything really great. He's a first or second read guy. He has good arm talent. It's not elite arm talent. He scrambles a lot, uses his legs, but he's not the most athletic guy in the world. So the idea that will he get the hell kicked out of him in the NFL? And he's never been under center. He's exclusively a shotgun sort of guy. So can you teach him to live in a world? Because quarterbacks like that probably need to live in a play action under center world for a good hunk of the time. So, there's some varying opinions about where his ceiling will be in the NFL. That being said, he will still be the number 1 player taken. Now, in previous drafts, would he be the number 1 player? No, he wouldn't. He is not considered a like an all-time elite prospect.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm a Raider fan, I don't know how I feel about it. Taking him.
Yeah. Well,
I like him, but
I don't know if this makes you feel better or worse, but the mocks that or not the mocks, but the comparisons that you see most to him, Jared Goff.
Oh.
And
that's not bad.
No, but Jared Goff in the right system.
Do you mean Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Who's Jared Goff?
Yeah, who is Jared Goff? Is he a golfer?
He's the brother of Jared Goff. In that sort of scheme, right? He needs to live in a under center play action world. And when he gets that with a good old line and a nice offensive system around him, he's proven he can be a really good quarterback. If you take a run game away from him and you put him in obvious passing situations, which is why McVay moved on from him. So the fear is that if he is Jared Goff and you put him in a bad team,
golf
with a wonky old line around him, see the Raiders, are you setting him up to be a bust early on?
Because that's a knock on Goff, right? Is that if you pressure him, he sucks.
Yes.
He can't get rid of it. So it's the same thing with Mendoza. If he's not fast enough or quick enough, strong enough to get away from everybody, one read, he's crushed, pressured up. I mean, how are you going to feel? The Raiders aren't going to be able to block for him. So he's going to have to make some type of plays by himself.
I'm just saying, like the NFL comps, when you listen to scouts, it's not guys that you would be necessarily clamoring over. Cousins is another one that gets thrown out there. A bigger Brock Purdy is one that gets thrown out there. So all guys that have been very successful, but also guys that you would say have to play in the right system. He will not transform a team on his own. And not many guys can. So, it's he will be a guy as this evaluation goes. I'll bet you there'll be a lot of hot takey guys that crap all over him, which is why I said if Dante Moore came out, and Mendoza was a much better college player than Dante Moore, Can't say anything else. I said all along that I thought if Dante Moore came out, the NFL loves intangibles and they love tools and all that. I thought that Dante Moore had a real chance during the evaluation, the Underwear Olympics, to surpass Mendoza, just on raw ability. Because when you watch the two throw and you look at all the mechanics and everything, Moore has, well, he has more, I think, of what the NFL is looking for. So we'll see where this goes. I would be scared to go to a bad team if I'm him, but that's when you're a top 3 pick, you're going to bad teams.
Well, I guess with the Raiders, the one hope, not with the Jets, because I think the Jets, they're just ass.
Yeah.
But I think with the Raiders, the hope is, hey, clean slate, new coach.
Mm-hmm.
Although, yeah, the Jets, they brought Glenn back. Right?
Yeah, they brought Aaron Glenn back.
Yeah, but he's a defensive guy. Like maybe a good match with a good offensive mind.
Well, and that New York media would eat him alive with his personality, where I think in Vegas, he's not going to fall into the sins of Vegas with that personality.
No, he wouldn't. I mean, he seems.
Well, I never thought about
wouldn't
that.
He go to Vegas? Watch him go to Vegas and get all the tattoos of Max
crazy.
Crosby, and now he's just doing coke off hookers and just he goes nuts.
Living his best life.
He's been waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah, he just breaks
I don't know. If I had my choice between the Raiders and Jets, I would much rather go to the Raiders. I think I would have I think I would have a better chance at success at the Raiders. Now that's not saying much.
Yeah.
But Jets, dude, they might be the last team I'd want to go to.
I mean, they didn't have an interception all season long. I mean,
they're so bad.
Yeah, it's atrocious
on all levels. Like they're a joke.
I think their leading receiver this year was Garrett Wilson, and he had like 400 and something yards. Like it's not only is the defense historically bad, they don't have a single interception. Look up his numbers. Look up Garrett Wilson's stats, because that was their leading receiver. I mean, that is the place where careers go to die. I'm with you. Given my choice, I'd rather go to Vegas and get a whole new start and just.
You can suckle at the teat of the great Tom Brady.
Well, and here's the one. The comps that you hear the most of are the Cousins and the Jared Goff of the world. If you want the really high ones, which I think is kind of silly, I have seen NFL guides that say that he has some Tom Brady and Matt Ryan in him, which is like, I mean, that's a... Whoa.
Garrett Wilson, 395 yards, indeed led the Jets in receiving yards.
Seriously, that's where you want to go?
That's crazy.
No, dude. And then you got to live in that New York media world. Dude, give me Vegas every single time. And I hope wherever he goes, they let him... And he's an older guy, but I hope they let him sit and just don't throw him to the
I find
fire.
It interesting how they would compare him to Brady. Are they just talking about his brain?
Yeah, and he's a smart, savvy guy, which is just a silly
Well,
Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady until he, years and years into that.
Well, but a lot of it was his brain though. Like Brady, I just saw a clip today of Brady talking about. Maybe we can find it. I'm gonna see if I can find it and have Stephen pull it. Of Brady talking about his career and his career arc.
Yeah. Because
remember, Brady, Mendoza is going to go number 1. The biggest difference is Mendoza number 1. Brady was a 6th-round pick.
Well,
it's not the same thing.
And Brady over the weekend when he was talking about how you throw into the wind, just like the little bit. I mean, that was the best thing he's done as an announcer, but it just shows you all the stuff that he looks at and goes into every single play.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady is unique. Maybe Peyton Manning had some of this, but just he was willing to do things that other guys weren't.
Yes.
It's not rocket science.
Deflate the balls.
But it's yes, exactly. But he just went I don't know. Let me pull the clip. He'll explain it way better. But I can see where the Mendoza comparisons come based on this clip I saw. So I'll see if I can find that and pull it, and you can play it, and we can all laugh about it and talk about it.
The only thing I'll say about this, Tom Brady was a master of the old school read pre-snap offenses.
Right.
And Mendoza comes from a world that is exclusively RPOs. And the reason why you run RPOs is to make things simple, right? There's 1 or 2 read. And that's the knock that I've heard from when you read NFL scouting reports is when Indiana comes up, the whole point of the RPO is you got 1 look, right? You're basing it on this. If I give this look, I'm running the ball. If not, I'm running this concept. And it's 1, 2, get rid of the ball. And in the NFL, that is a hard world to live in. It can be successful when you have mobile guys. Like Philadelphia did a lot of RPOs, but again, that was the best roster in the NFL. And even with that, their offense can be very, very limited with their quarterback. And so that, I think, is what scares some people is Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are probably the 2 best pre-snap cerebral quarterbacks. And Mendoza obviously is a very bright kid, but when he hasn't been asked to do that and he's lived in this exclusive RPO, very simplified offensive world, can he exist in an NFL where he's going to be asked to do more? Or is he going to be a limited athlete in a limited system a la Brock Purdy? And then where does that kind of put
So I found the clip, and Steven's going to play it for us next, of Brady talking about how at 25 he was good, at 35 he was great, at 45 he was a master of the sport. Yeah. What he's talking about is some of the things that you are about. I think what maybe the comparison they're drawing with Mendoza is he's just really smart.
Very smart.
And can maybe get to that master of the sport level by just simply figuring it out. Studying, like actually putting in the work to some it's like if I played quarterback, besides the physical limitations,
it's really hard.
Yeah, dude, I think it's unbelievable just rattling off the play names. Yeah. And just all the things they have to see and react to within a matter of a split second. Yeah. It's amazing that people can even do that. But then to get to the level of Tom Brady is just a whole nother stratosphere.
It's why there's only like 10 good ones in the entire planet at a time.
But Brady was not even, but he was, like he said, he was good at one point, but he ended up being the greatest of all time.
Yep.
So what got him from good to the greatest of all time is where I think the comparisons come with Mendoza. He will talk about that next on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Ducks athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Talk to many people, my mentors, and people I just look up to. And with that being said, of course, I'll be coming back to Oregon for one more year and being able to play for the Oregon Ducks and, of course, reach our goal and be national champions.
He said, of course I'm coming back.
Yeah, no doubt about it, right?
Of course. Yeah. Why would I go take $50 million somewhere else? Fernando Mendoza and his potential in the NFL. I don't know. Some people are already trashing him. Other people, I mean, look, he's going to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I just think the idea that when you're the number 1 pick, we expect you to be Andrew Luck or John Elway or whatever. But as you pointed out, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, was not the number 1 overall pick. So no one really knows what anyone's going to do. But I think, again, I think we can all agree that Fernando Mendoza is going to be the number 1 pick because it is, one, it's considered a very bad draft across the board. Who was it? I think Dane Brugler said that if you took all the position players, every position, and you put this year's class into last year's, 1 or 2 would actually be the number 1 guy. This is historically supposed to be a bad draft at the top end talent. And so Mendoza is going to go number 1 overall, but in some drafts, he may have gone as the 3rd, 4th, or 5th best quarterback. That doesn't mean that he can't be good, but let's have some realistic expectations. He's not being viewed as a sure thing. And no one should ever be viewed as a sure thing because it's the hardest thing to do in sports.
But he's awful good in college, and he's just he's an interesting prospect.
Well, and he just looks
well, a lot of it's
odd.
how he handles himself, his brain. He just seems really sharp. So here was Tom Brady. This is the clip I was talking about. I heard Brady talking about this on a podcast today, and I thought it was interesting. And that's why Tom Brady is just, you mentioned that Mendoza has been compared to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And perhaps what the things that Tom Brady is talking about in this clip are why.
You go into the NFL draft, and everyone's like, look at this guy's skill set. He's really fast. He's really big. Look how strong an arm he throws. Oh, my God, he was on his knees, and he threw the ball 70 yards.
Uh-oh.
That's it?
No.
You go into the NFL draft, and everyone's like, look at this guy's skill set. He's really fast. He's really big. Look how strong an arm he throws. Oh, my God, he was on his knees, and he threw the ball 70 yards. But I'm like,
who cares?
Okay.
Yeah,
like, what does that mean? Is he mentally, is he smart enough to take an information, process it, and use it on the field? Does he know, has he mastered the playbook? Does he know how to study? Does he know how to learn from his mistakes? And then emotionally, is he competitive every day? Is he really volatile as a leader? Does he know how to deal with adversity? Does he know how to deal with competition? How does he react when things don't go his way? What's going to happen when he throws 4 interceptions a game? How's he going to respond to that? So if you don't have those, because as you guys know, when you play sports, adversity is coming. Oh, yeah. It may not be your first year. It may not be your second year. It will come at some point. And the best players I've ever been around, they know how to deal with all parts of those emotions. They know how to study. They're going to learn every single year. They're going to be a little bit better. When you become mentally and emotionally a master of yourself, my belief is you do get better as you get older. The people who are only focused on their physical ability, over time, you get worse. I learned to compete. I knew how to be resilient. I knew how to be competitive. I learned playbooks. I mastered playbooks. I trained hard because physically, I was actually way less developed than a lot of other guys. So I had to work my ass off to try to make up that ground. And finally, when I made up that ground, I thought I was really well-rounded and my ability to compete was at a much higher level. So now I got my chance. And then as I got better physically through the course of my career, mentally, emotionally, I was awesome. Well, there I got to be, in my at 25, I was good. At 35, I was great. At 45, I was a master of the sport.
I love that.
That's such a good.
Absolutely
I hadn't heard
love
that. That's such a good quote.
Dude,
and if only 45 Brady could have had 35-year-old Brady body, I mean, he already is the GOAT.
But
so.
What he's saying is he maximized it, and he kept getting better. And he's so right about it. He said, when you become mentally and emotionally a master of yourself, that's the thing I think that Mendoza kind of displays, where it's like he'll get better physically.
Yeah. Will he be the psycho that really takes it seriously? You'd be amazed at. I don't think you. I guess maybe.
But emotionally, I think it's not just the brain power; it's also emotions and handling those and being mature.
I think people. Maybe it's not a shock, so maybe I shouldn't say that. It just it's commonplace that a lot of NFL players don't. NBA, I think, is the worst at this. Guys don't get better. You make a bunch of money, you're good, and you stop evolving. You're like, well, I mean, I'm one of the better ones in the sport, so why do I need to add anything into my game? I'm fine. I've got models, I got money, I'm good. And I think a lot of guys really stagnate and don't necessarily put in the work. And that's the other one that Brady's talking about. That guy never got complacent. Tom Brady got better every single year and added new things. And can Mendoza be that guy that overcomes some of his limitations? And again, you're going to have to be patient. His footwork and his pocket presence and some of the deep ball stuff, certainly under center. He has never done that. He does not throw a great deep ball. That RPO scheme that he lives in does not ask him to throw deep very often. In the NFL, it's hard to dink and dunk. You're going to have to be able to get some explosive plays. He's going to have to be better under center. He's going to have to develop a pocket awareness. And all of that comes through work, dedication, and being a psycho to the game like Tom Brady. And if you think he has that in him, then by all means, you take him number one and you live with some of the limitations knowing those will get better.
When I was with the Blazers, my boss told me the hardest thing to judge in it when you're evaluating an athlete is their ability to change, their ability to change their role, because they've played one way their entire career, their entire life. When you get to the professional leagues, you have to change it no matter what. And I think that's to your point, Suk, like Mendoza's great in the RPO offense. He can't do that in the NFL. He's going to have to change and adapt to that. And it's hard to judge, can he do that? Does he have the mentality to study up and work at it every single day? And I think for the NBA especially, like these guys play one way with the basketball for 20 years of their life. They go to the NBA, well, you're a role player now. How do you react? And I think it's the same thing with football. You play a certain way. You play in a certain offense. Well, you're not going to have that offense in the NFL. It's going to be a different game. College and the NFL is different.
It's the hardest transition to make is that. Everything I've ever done has worked, and someone tells you it doesn't work anymore. I need you to do this and rewire 24 years.
Because it's gotten you to that level. It's gotten you money. It's gotten you a family, a wife, whatever.
But how many guys, like when you think about the all-time greats, and I was thinking about LeBron, I was thinking about Tiger, and then you compare those guys to Tom Brady. How many of them are like Tom Brady versus like LeBron and Tiger? Tiger, you could sit and listen to Tiger talk about golf, but the reality is Tiger was just physically he's a freak. Like and so is LeBron. Tom Brady was not.
No.
And so that's what I love about Tom Brady. Dude, I could listen to that guy speak about what it takes to be great all day. I don't really need to listen to LeBron about what it takes to be great because I wasn't born a tank like LeBron. I can't do what LeBron, and I'm sure LeBron has great nuggets of wisdom. Sure. He's been able to stay relevant, way older too, which give him a lot of credit for.
Steroids too.
But, well, there's that. But I just think Tom Brady, find me another, GOAT that
Steph Curry
is like him.
Steph Curry's not a
but he's just physically.
Steph Curry is a great player. Steph Curry is not a top 5 player of all time. It's just not.
Well, no, but even as high level as he is, he's still. It's just physically, he's just
the closest thing.
Shockingly gifted.
The closest thing you have is Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky is the Tom Brady
who just kind of figured it out.
He just figured it out. He was the smartest guy to ever do it. It's the difference between listening to Tom Brady talk about playing quarterback and Brett Favre or John Elway.
Right.
Brett Favre and John Elway are two of the best to ever do it, but when they were a baby, God, Buddha, Tom Cruise, whoever, came down and said, you have something that no one else has. And Tom Brady and Drew Brees is another one that are very talented. That is more of you had a raw set of talents that was good enough, and then you, through sheer tyranny of will and work, you made yourself one of the best. Ooh. Whereas Favre and Elway, Marino was another one.
Aaron Rodgers.
Those guys were meant. They were LeBron, whereas the others are more Steph Curry. Steph Curry's not the biggest guy, he's not the fastest guy, he's not the quickest guy, but he decided that he was going to outwork everybody. And yes, there's an appreciation, I think, from you, and I certainly have it too, for guys that are like that.
Like Brady, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
As opposed to the freak.
Yeah, it's like Tiger. All right. I mean, you were amazing. I loved it, but I mean, he doesn't need to be writing a book about how great he. Yeah. Like, Brady can lay it all. Brady did that with his diet. Just one part of his
changed everything. Changed his whole body.
One part of his sort of regime in becoming great was his body. He wrote a whole book about it.
Yeah.
And nobody does it.
Nope.
Because nobody is willing to do what he did.
Trent Dilfer came on our show years and years ago and laughed about this and said, Tom Brady is willing to tell anybody that this is what he does to be Tom Brady. And he said, no one will do it. Because it sucks. because you're worth a couple $100 million. You've got an Instagram model as a wife.
But the point is, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, they can't tell somebody how to be.
It's why they're bad. It's why guys like that, like the Magic Johnson of the world, end up being bad coaches.
Right. They're just like, do it like me.
Yeah, do
like,
this.
Why can't you do what I did?
And you're like,
because you're Tiger Woods. I can't hit the ball like that.
Yeah. It's so frustrating when you are trying to learn from someone that truly is amazing, and they have the just do it like this, and you sit there and laugh, and you're like, yeah, what do you mean do it like that?
This is why I like Tom Brady as a broadcaster. I know a lot of people don't, but I could listen to him talk about football.
Yeah, when he did the throwing the ball in the wind and the sea and how you need to make that little adjustment, that stuff was great.
He's got a lot of pearls up there, obviously.
Helps to be the greatest of all time to ever do it.
Yes, but again, what I'm saying is not a lot of greats have those kind of pearls. No. They're just like, it was really good. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. I could hit a 5-iron any which way I wanted.
Brett
What do you
Favre,
want me
I
to
don't
do?
know. I can throw that 35-yard out on a dime off my back foot. Aaron Rodgers is that way. Aaron Rodgers might be the most talented player I've ever seen at that position, and he's a shell of what Tom Brady was. Imagine if Rodgers had what Brady, if you could smush those two together. Aaron Rodgers is a more talented player in every way than Tom Brady, except between the years.
All right, let's get to the club. The Blazers got a shout-out at the Golden Globes. Did you guys catch that last night?
I did not.
Well, I wasn't watching, but do you have the audio of it?
No, I don't.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. Blazers are just funny. I don't know. They make me laugh.
Steven used to work for the Blazers, and he doesn't like them anymore.
He's a hooper.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Concordia, great.
So we got in common, Rob. They both fired us. Both canned us.
That's right. Yep, and we will forever hold the grudges, as people think.
Always.
Hottest new app as well. It's called Are You Dead? Coming up on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. He has announced that he will return to Eugene for one more season. Moore is projected to be the number 2 quarterback picked in the upcoming NFL draft, but wants to come back to Oregon and try to win one more championship. While Oregon All-American safety Dylan Thieneman announced he will head to the NFL draft. Thieneman projected to be a top 50 pick in the upcoming draft. And Malik Benson, the star wide receiver who really caught on at the end of the year, he also is heading to the NFL. Wide receiver Adam Thielen, he is hanging it up from the NFL as he announced that on social media today. Thielen played 13 NFL seasons, finished up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had 703 catches in his career, which ranked him 4th all-time for an undrafted player. The Blazers lost last night 119-97. No Denny Advia as he nursed a hurt back, but they play the Hawks tomorrow from Motor Center. Denny Advia listed as doubtful. Jeremy Grant, who's been out for a while, he has been listed as questionable. And the 49ers, they need some reinforcements as they're banged up. And one of the guys, Fred Warner, the linebacker, made it clear on Wednesday that he hasn't ruled out returning from a fractured and dislocated right ankle. 49ers opened up Warner's practice window on Tuesday, and Warner said that they're taking it day by day, which leaves open the possibility of him playing up in Seattle against the Seahawks on Saturday. We'll have that game live here on The Fan. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live.
Good to have you along.
Oh, yeah. Ooh,
sorry about that.
Really?
We got to talking about Tom's braids.
There's behind, and then there's behind Tom's Brady. Rob likes the view, and boy, we kept going with that.
So the Blazers got a shout out on the Golden Globes on Sunday. I'm sure you heard.
Someone saying that Blazer fan legend Ian Carmel wrote that Golden Globe joke, which would make sense. He's a big Blazer guy.
So Nikki Glaser was the host, and she introduced, as presenter, she introduced Chris Pine and what's this gal's name? Ana de Armas.
Yeah, she's the
whoever she is.
She's all the hot rage. You don't know who she is?
No.
She's a big deal, like huge.
She said, so Glazer said, your next presenters famously led the 1977 Portland Trailblazers to an NBA championship. Please welcome Chris Pine and Ana de Armas, which is very weird because it's not really a joke. It's just like.
You think Ian Carmel just wanted, if that's true, did he just want to give the Blazers a shout out?
Well, so for the longest time, people couldn't, the Blazer fans were, like, there were Reddit threads and everything, you know, people were talking like, why did she say that? Because it's not funny.
No.
We know they weren't on the team.
Well, and they don't, it doesn't,
or maybe they
what's
were.
The connection?
Yeah, like, what's the point of saying that?
I don't know.
Well, it is simply that Ian Carmel, who was a writer for the Golden Globes, he simply wanted to get the Blazers in there, and so he put that in there.
Because it is a little odd that there is no, they don't.
Yeah, because it's not a joke. It's not funny.
Well, there's
se.
no, like, Chris Pine doesn't look like anyone. The names aren't, the names aren't similar to anyone on the Blazers squad.
They call those Easter eggs.
I appreciate that he's just like, hey, I like the Blazers, so here, and no one in the writing room, they're like, whatever.
Yeah, they let him do whatever he wants. He's Ian Carmel.
And you should really look up old Anna's her body of work. You really
What's
should.
she in?
She's been in a ton of stuff. She was in the John Wick Ballerina. She was in the new Blade Runner. She was in the first Knives Out. She played the main character, the nurse in the Knives Out movie. You should also look up her work in Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves. You really should look up her in Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves.
Did we get to see her knockers?
Yeah. She was the Marilyn Monroe as well. You should look that up.
She looks like a little cutie patootie there, Jace.
Yeah, she
was creepy.
Sydney Sweeney has kind of become the it girl, like the hot, and she was the hot before Sydney Sweeney came along and knocked her off the perch.
Yeah, I've never seen her, but
you've seen her. You just weren't aware of her.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, she doesn't look familiar to me. Put it that way.
Well, just do yourself a Google search.
Anyway, who knew she won a title for the Blazers?
I had no idea.
Back in the day. All right, so I've got the hot new app.
A weird, random thing.
Yeah, totally random.
Kudos to Ian Carmel for slipping that in.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
would you do that if you were a writer? Would you throw out a rock chalk thing?
Yeah, I would, but I'd probably
try to make it
it a joke, like something
more
funny.
relevant.
Yeah, something that isn't just a complete random.
Maybe that was the joke that everyone would be like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
Anyway, let's get to our next segment. The hottest new app is called Are You Dead?
I need an app to know?
Well, apparently people do, yes.
Okay.
That's the whole idea. We'll get to that next on The Fan.
Seahawks
do.
Come on, Rob.
We have you.
Our
Like
warm
Anna
embrace.
Diarma, or whatever her name is.
She's so hot.
Is it Diarmas? Diarma?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, the hot new app is called Are You Dead?
Can't believe that's a hot new app.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to figure out whether or not you're dead, unless this is all a simulation.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if it's a simulation, maybe we're all dead and we're just living like,
Oh.
you know, kind of an afterlife sort of thing. And like when you die, if you go to the next thing and it's not real, how would you know?
Right.
That's that whole, you know, consciousness thing. Like how do you know?
Move on to the next plane? How do you tell? If I die tomorrow and I move on to the next plane, how do I tell you I'm in the next plane?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you just think I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm no longer here.
Well, I want to believe like when you die, like I wake up someplace cool, but I don't know. What if I wake up and I have no idea that I was dead or alive, or I don't know.
What if you just wake up in the box?
That'd be disturbing. Hey, there was one. You were gone, but I did it. There was a lady that woke up in the body bag.
Oh yeah.
She had cerebral palsy, and the family called like the ambulance workers, and they showed up, and they were like, "No, she's dead." Put her in the body bag, and then when they got to the morgue, someone saw the body bag moving, zipped it. She was in there, just moving around.
That happens from time to time.
Yeah. I think the family won like $3.5 million because she ended up dying. I don't know exactly. Maybe she was having a medical crisis, but obviously didn't get care because she was in the body bag, which I thought was a little low.
Yeah.
Like if you take my relative and you don't give them medical care, you put them in a body bag, and then it turns out they're alive and they die later on. I would think $3 million seems a bit low. I'd call the advocates on that one.
Yeah, I was watching. You know how you binge watch things when you're just lying there in a sea of flu?
Yeah, you're in and out because everything's kind of a haze.
Yeah, so I was binge watching two things. Eugene Levy's travel show.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
The old one or the
Eugene Levy?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Isn't his kid Eugene Levy too, or is that a different
No,
Levy?
his kid is.
Okay.
Forget his name.
Because the one was on Schitt's Creek, and he's like super popular.
Well, they all
now.
were.
Yeah, but I thought that was.
That's his kid.
I thought he was Eugene Levy as well, but
No.
I could be.
I don't think so. I think his name's maybe Jonathan, but
Okay.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
I didn't know he had a travel show.
Yeah, Eugene Levy
He's
has a travel
great,
show.
by the way.
He is great, and he's very uptight.
Is he
And-
really?
Yeah, and so the whole thing. Yeah, he's not. It's not what you would think. Like he's pretty funny, but he's also really averse to. Like the whole idea of his travel show came about because his family told him, "Dude, you've got to go. You got to get out more. Like you need to have some. You need to like let your hair down a little bit." You know,
I had no idea. I would have thought he'd be like super because every character he plays is so zany.
Well,
and-
he's funny. He's very witty, but the show is called The Reluctant Traveler. Like he doesn't really want to do it, but by the end of it, he'll be on there saying, "Oh, this was great. It's so good for me to learn about this, and I never would have done this on my own."
Do you know someone like this? Because I do.
That what? Doesn't like to travel?
Yeah, and they kind of get forced into doing stuff, and all they want to do is come back and like America. They struggle. They go to, like all these really unique, amazing places, and they they do well. So they're high-end trips, and I think this person would rather go to Idaho. I think they'd rather go to Coeur d'Alene. They just are not meant to explore the world.
Some people just like their routine. Eugene said he needed to, kind of explore. He's 78, dude. He is not young.
Oh,
yeah, he looks great for 78.
Well, I guess he was in Splash and some of those old Tom Hanks movies. He's been around a long time.
So he's pretty good in it. Anyway, he does some pretty cool things. By the way, his kid's name is Dan.
Oh,
Dan Levy.
Levy?
Dan and Sarah Levy.
He looks just like him. The kid's just a spitting image of him with the eyebrows and everything.
Anyway, I binged that one, and I binged The Curious Case of, which is I think on Netflix, and it's got all these weird sort of I don't know, like Jodi Hildebrand, that Mormon crazy lady who was brainwashing people and torturing kids and stuff. You know her story?
I don't. think I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
famous story.
So it's just it explores.
Yeah, different things.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about? Why am I telling you this?
You were saying you were in the flu haze and you were watching.
Yeah, but what were you just talking about?
I don't know. You were talking about you were watching TV. You were in
you were talking about
haze.
Hots. The hot girl. That was on Golden Globes.
Anna de Armas.
Yeah.
Why was I telling you I was watching? There was something in the Curious Case of that pertained to what you were. Damn it!
And then you just started talking about what shows you're watching.
No, I was getting to a point about because he made me think of it. I was going to add to the. I don't know. Anyway. Jesus.
Yeah, we were talking about the Hots, and then we were talking Golden Globes and
Sydney Sweeney,
and then that led to. I don't know. You were just
I'm
talking
gonna
about.
Have to go back and listen to the tape.
You were talking about things that you were watching.
This is gonna bother me.
I just remember you said you were, when you have the flu, you sit on the couch and you binge watch things. And you said,
well, I lie in bed. But.
Well, yeah, whatever. You said you were lying there and you were binge watching, and then you said that you were binge watching.
The Eugene Levy thing threw me off because I binge watched that, but I also binge watched The Curious Case of on Netflix.
Well, you started off with binge watching the Eugene Levy.
I know, and I shouldn't have done that because then I lost my train of thought. Because I brought up The Curious Case of because of something you said, and now I can't remember what it was.
So it was what you were trying to get to was something about The Curious Case.
Yeah, but it's gone. I'm gonna go listen to the tape,
and we'll never get it
during
back.
the break.
I'm sure it was amazing.
You were going to talk about the app.
Yes, the app.
Yeah,
but that also doesn't.
That has nothing to do with
jar.
anything.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. The Are You Dead app.
Yeah. I'm getting back to that.
Oh.
That was another. That was something different.
This was different than the Death app?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, it's what we do. Have you not been on this show for 20 years?
I assume when you said the Death app, I'm like, there you go. So something about the Curious Case of whatever, does that coincide with the Death app?
No, it's just something you said. Forget it. F.
What show is this?
What show is this?
Ain't nobody got time
for that.
We do have time for that. I can't stop looking
at what
Eugene
point does
Levy's eyebrows.
I know they're amazing. At what point does Steven regret taking this job?
Right.
Has he done it yet?
Right. I think it was last week.
No. Are You Dead? The concept is simple. It is a app that has taken China by storm. Because in China, there are a lot of people who live alone. And so the Are You Dead app, you have to check in with it every 2 days, and you have to click a large green button that says I'm alive, and if you don't, it'll get in touch with your appointed emergency contact and inform them that you may be in trouble. This is like the hottest new app in China.
Interesting. If you ever go, it's not just China. I was talking to the BTJ the other day about this. We were talking to, it was when my daughter was back from Korea. A lot of Asian society in general is very isolated. Like when you go over there to restaurants, like when you go to McDonald's here, there's tables and there's booths. When you go over to fast food places, there's one-person cubes with like blinders up on each side and everything. My daughter's like, when you ride any mass transit, you go anywhere in Korea, you will not look at anyone else, you will not speak to anyone else, and they don't want to speak to you. It is a very, very individualistic
Hey, I love that.
world.
Why am I not Asian?
Oh. So that does make sense that you would, Are You Dead? What if you just forget?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
According to
How
research...
long before you forget to log in and click that you're not dead?
2 days.
Yeah.
I would never sign up for this app.
No.
Like, if I'm dead,
yeah.
so be it. Like, I don't want you coming looking for me. I'm just dead.
Well, someone will find you eventually.
It's too
right?
late. Yeah. According to research institutions, there may be up to 200 million one-person households in China by 2030. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's
so we've got, what, 350 million, 375 million?
I think it's like 350, I want to say.
In our whole country.
Yes.
That's like half of our country living alone in China.
Just one. Yeah, that's, by the way, in no way is this good. Like, we are not meant to be isolated. You wonder why the world's going to hell? That. And yet we're more connected than ever. My God.
So do you want to know what Suk said before he started saying?
Yeah.
He was talking about the lady in the body bag.
Ah! Thank you.
Yeah, the lady.
So if you watch the Curious Case... Good call, Steven.
I went back and listened.
Great hire.
Thank you.
Um,
Finally earned it.
if you watch The Curious Case of, there are some interesting ones and some not so interesting ones. One of the more interesting ones was, and they're like 45 minutes to an hour, one story each.
Sure.
None of them pertain to the other. One of them was this Colorado, I guess in Colorado, you don't have to have a license to run a morgue.
Oh, really?
No. They've changed it because of this story.
You do whatever you want.
Dude, this husband and wife were stacking bodies on their property, in their, I don't know what they called their mortuary for 4 years.
So you just had a bunch.
They said that you would walk in there, or when police found it, they walked in because neighbors finally started complaining of the smell.
Yeah.
You walked in, there was like shin-high sludge of bodily fluids. Yeah, of you name it.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing it right here.
They weren't doing anything with the bodies. They were just throwing them in this.
200 decaying bodies.
Yes.
And then they gave the families fake ashes.
Exactly. They gave them like cement, ground up cement.
Oh, my God.
And one lady figured it out because she thought she had her loved one's ashes,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "This doesn't seem like ashes," and she put it in water, and it hardened.
Oh my God,
dude, it's unbelievable.
just mixing loved ones' ashes, it makes a nice mortar paste.
Yeah, very sad story.
By the way, I don't want to. Like, you're grieving, right? But
this is gonna be bad.
Well, I'm looking at the house where this was run.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know.
And I get that funerals can be
they were
expensive.
trying to save some money.
If you show up at this place and you decide this is the mortuary you are going with,
I will say
that's on you.
You need to watch this show because it was much nicer before.
Okay.
It got.
This
You're
place
probably
is-
seeing it at the end.
Yeah.
And well, because they weren't in there. I mean, there were a bunch of dead bodies in there. They left. They would just put the bodies in there and leave.
Well, like there's it looks so janky, and honestly, it looks like something that like off 82nd and maybe Foster. Like that's. If you're going to a mortuary on the corner of 82nd and Foster and there's some working girls out in front and it's next to an Asian massage parlor, that's on you if your family does not get proper burial.
But it's 50% off, so
it is.
It's
It's super cheap. God, this story is horrific.
It is absolutely horrible. Those people are awful. And they got him and everything. Obviously, they caught him. But they changed the laws in Colorado because of that story.
Makes sense.
Like, you now have to have a license.
Here's my problem with shows like this. They always start off with a banger. Like
What
the
do you mean?
first, there's a show where there's like multiple, like the Worst Neighbor Ever type shows where each one's like 45 minutes. They always start off with a flamethrower. And then like the next one is so stupid. You're like, I hate that. Florida Man got me with that. The first episode of Florida Man is incredible. It's this dude in Florida who smokes a bunch of meth, climbs into a swamp to go swimming naked, gets his arm bitten off by a croc, and then survives for like 4 days crawling around in the muck, manages to get saved. He's on camera telling the story, and he says that his ultimate goal is to do it again because that water is calling him. It's the most insane Florida dude of all time, and I was like, if this is the first episode, count me in. The next two, horrible. Not even remotely entertaining. You can't start off with the best thing you got and then have no fastball after that.
Well, first of all,
so disappointing.
The Funeral Home of Horrors was the fourth episode.
Oh.
So the first episode was actually really good, and that's the one I would recommend watching. And it's about Bam Margera.
See, they always start with the first one. That's the best
well,
one.
but like I said, the Funeral Home of Horrors was really good.
Okay.
Now, the Jody Hildebrand one, that was number 5. I passed over a couple of the others. Bam Margera, do you know the story of Bam Margera?
Yeah, that dude is, he's
Well, he's
insane.
in a really bad way.
Yeah.
He's a really bad drug addict,
Yep.
and he was on Jackass and everything.
Yeah.
You should watch the first one because they're calling him, or he's calling himself, the Britney Spears of Jackass. He cannot handle his own affairs.
Yeah.
He's that screwed up.
Yeah.
And his family didn't know what to do, so they went to this YouTuber lady who had this device that would like put addicts in virtual reality. Dude, she didn't have any credentials. Dude, it's a whole thing. And then she became She became in control.
His legal guardian type of thing.
Guardian is different than conservatorship. Conservatorship is about the money.
Yes.
Guardianship is about their actual life choices, like where they live, and she became his guardian. Just some YouTuber.
Seems good.
Dude, it's wild. Bam Margera, I can't believe he's not dead.
I know. Of all those guys, I mean, they kicked him out of Jackass. How bad do you have to be for the Jackass guys to be like,
we're good, bro.
Steve-O, you're fine. Wee Man, yes. Bam, we can't do this.
Well, anyway, that show's called The Curious Case of, and it airs on...
Netflix, I'm guessing.
Is it Netflix?
I would assume. HBO, maybe.
I think it's Netflix. Anyway, if you want to watch something kind of good.
Yeah. Watch the first episode of Florida Man and then nothing after that.
I've been thinking about starting Florida Man, and now I'm not going to.
The first episode you should. It's incredible.
I'm not going to.
That dude.
Because I need to watch more.
That dude is amazing.
All right. Anyway, the app is called Are You Dead? You should get it. Or not. I don't know. I don't even know if it's available here. It's big in China. How do we feel about avalanches? Here's Steven.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. He announced today all over social media that he will be returning to Eugene for one more season. Moore is projected to be the number 2 quarterback in the upcoming NFL draft, but wants to help Oregon win a national championship. While Oregon All-American safety Dylan Thiemann, he announced he will be heading to the NFL draft, as well as wide receiver Malik Benson. He as well will be heading to the NFL. Wide receiver Adam Thielen, he is calling it a day from the NFL, as he announced on social media today that he is retiring. He played 13 seasons, had 703 catches in his career, which ranks him 4th all-time for undrafted players. Blazers, they got whooped last night by the Warriors. They didn't have Denny Advia. Next up, they take on the Hawks from Moda Center. Denny Advia, though, listed as doubtful for the upcoming game tomorrow. Jeremy Grant, who's been out for a while, listed as questionable, so maybe Blazers get a little reinforcements. And speaking of reinforcements, the 49ers may potentially be getting back linebacker Fred Warner, as Warner made it clear today that he hasn't ruled out returning from a fractured and dislocated right ankle. The Niners opened up Warner's practice window yesterday, and Warner said today they're taking it day by day, leaving open that possibility of him playing against the Seattle Seahawks on Saturday. We'll have that game live here on The Fan. And new Wizards point guard Trae Young, he's still recovering from a MCL and quad injuries in his right leg. He'll be reevaluated after the All-Star break. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks, don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at Warren Allen.
The home of dirt and
Right, I was going to move on to avalanches. I don't know if we have time, though, man. Yeah, there is a... Wait, did you say hot avalanche news? Yeah. There's a lot of avalanche news lately. I don't know if you've been following your avalanche.
But in my hierarchy of things that do not concern me in real life, but I'm terrified of.
The avalanche?
Yeah, because log trucks are probably number one on that list. Quicksand has been a fear of mine forever, even though I don't know if that exists in real life. Let me add avalanches. I'm not on the mountain much. I've never seen one. Not exactly sure why I would ever get caught in an avalanche, but let me add that to the list of things that make me a little anxious. If I'm on a mountain, that thought is always in the back of my mind. What if that comes down right now? See enough of those videos where that thing starts sliding towards you, and you're like, "Well, I'm effed."
It would be an absolutely horrible death.
Yes.
Just knowing that it's gonna fall on you.
Well, there's three videos, recent avalanche videos, because people are always, they always have GoPros on,
Sure.
or they have their phones filming. And so you're getting more and more of these. But these are all three terrifying for different reasons. One is a skier, and she's a professional skier, I guess, and she's got her dog running down the mountain with her while she's skiing, and a lanch.
You can do that?
Well, I think she's back. I mean, she's like...
The dog's just the dog's running through there? Huh. I've never seen
She's like backcountry skiing.
Okay.
And the lanch starts, and the poor dog, she's filming. And it's a pretty big one.
At that point, I'm sorry, the dog's on its own.
Well, she had no chance to. If it got worse, she's not saving that dog. But it turns out that it just stopped, and the dog comes running up to her, and she's fine. She didn't get buried or anything.
Wow.
There's another one, but it's terrifying because I don't care about her. I cared about the dog.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that poor dog.
The most insane video I've ever seen, and I'm sure you've seen it too, and I don't remember where it was from, but the same thing, a dude's doing backcountry skiing, and they're filming him from a helicopter. It's like a pro skier, and the avalanche starts coming, and that son of a gun has to race for his life, and he beats it. And he goes over this jump and manages to just elude. I don't know what could be scarier than a effing mountain is chasing you, and you're flying down this thing knowing that if you stumble, if you're too slow, if you make a wrong turn, anything, the mountain swallows you. And that dude beat it. He won. He beat the mountain. That's the scariest, but also probably the greatest feeling. That guy will never have anything in his life that feels better than that. That guy could have an 8-way with the hottest people on earth, and it wouldn't matter. He'd be like, whatever. Have you ever been chased by a mountain?
Isn't an 8-way just an orgy?
Yeah, probably.
So the other one was 3 skiers in the Rockies triggered 2 avalanches, and they're filming it. And that one's terrifying because there's one of the skiers is way down at the bottom, and he gets bowled over, and he gets thrown into a set of trees. Everybody lived, but they don't show how he got rescued because he got buried.
Oh, I see it right here.
See him at the bottom?
Whoa.
He's getting bulldozed.
Yeah,
and the other 2 are fine up top.
Did that guy die?
No, they said they all 3 lived.
All 3 lived.
And then...
Yeah, you can see that dude just getting swept away.
Yeah, he got the worst of it.
Yeah.
And then the third one this was in the Swiss Alps. Some guy's just skiing along, and he sees a hand sticking up out of the snow.
I've seen videos.
Did you see that
I've
one?
seen videos like this before. I don't know if I've seen this one. Yeah, you stumble upon someone that's buried.
Yes. So he went over there. He's like, oh, no. Oh. And he dug him out down to his face, which is about, dude, his arm was, that's probably like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Digging and digging
yeah,
and digging.
I see it right here from one day ago.
And the guy, and eventually the ski people came and got him out of there. But
he walked around. Like,
he was fine.
What are the odds that
he was going to die?
Yeah, that he ski. Yeah, if he just happened to ski over that guy.
Yeah, he just saw his arm. I don't know how the guy's arm ended up sticking out and the rest of his body was completely buried.
Now, I will tell you, knowing Bear Grylls personally.
Yeah.
The key on the avalanche is as it goes down, there's a certain way you contort your body so that hopefully when, you try to form like a power O, that way, there's room for you to move once the snow settles on you. Otherwise, you end up in an icy cocoon.
Yeah. And you're supposed to spit if you want to know which way's up.
Yeah, because you get turned around. Yeah, which way does it? The bottom line is I'm never going to find myself in an avalanche because I want nothing to do with that. Avalanche high on my list.
So you don't ski or snowboard or anything?
I don't. I snowmobile occasionally, but like when you snowmobile, you're not really up in the.
You're on trails.
Yeah, you're not in the backcountry stuff. But I have a buddy of mine who lives down in Bend. You know him, Dr. Dixon, former dentist of the stars.
Yeah, he used to do my teeth.
Yeah, him and his whole family, they do the backcountry skiing stuff, and his kids like do the flips off jumps, and I'm always like, oh my god. Because, they do wear the GoPros, and I'm like, what happens if the snow comes down? And they're all aware. It's like the people that go surfing when you know there's great whites, like, you're in shark water. Like, if you surf off the coast of Malibu, like, you know there are great whites in that water. Australia, the same thing. That's not, hey, maybe there's sharks. No, there's sharks. And you choose to be like, well, we'll see what happens. Same thing with that backcountry skiing.
I've been snowmobiling once.
Yeah.
In the Colorado Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
It was a delightful time, but is that a little overrated?
Oh, I don't know. I like it. It's fun.
But isn't that a little overrated? I thought it
seems like it would be awesome.
I don't think
I've never been, but it seems like it would be like a really fun thing.
Now, again, I only went once. I did not find it awesome. I found it pretty cool. You know?
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah. It's like, all right. Yeah.
Like game 4 cool, not game 7 cool?
Yeah. I wanted to go faster.
Oh, then you need to get a better snowmobile.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. I mean, this was just the owner of this cabin had these snowmobiles and we took them out.
Because my buddy, he goes a bunch, and so you have the place we rent into, because we go to Bachelor down in Bend, and you do have your choices between the ones that you buy. And he rents the nice one, and I will say that I did the like, oh, let's gun this thing, and then you figure out maybe take a little bit off because they get going.
That's like those the water. What is the jet skis? Yeah, water.
Yeah, be careful when you get the big dog and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be a man and gun it, and then you're like, I'm about to die. Maybe not gun it the moment I get on it.
You're out there turning on your blinker, looking both ways.
Yeah. I was going real fast and I hit a bump and my fat ass came off of it, and I was kind of doing nothing was attached but my hands, and I saw I'm like, well, I'm dead. And luckily I kind of was able to land it, and then I almost wrecked it, and nothing happened. But I will say that I slowed down real quick after that. I was like, yeah, this is very dangerous and I should maybe take this a little more seriously.
All right, we'll wrap it up next on The Fan. A lot of snowmobile bros out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of anyone saying that they can't go fast enough on those things.
I think upon further review, and again, this was a long time ago. I don't know, but it just seemed like we were in some trees and stuff, and like there was never really like straight away like just gun it type of moment.
They're there.
I don't know.
Like I said, the one on because when you go to Bachelor, they have like a whole area that's just for snowmobiles. And so there's trails and stuff, and there's long straightaways, and then they have this big open field where you can just kind of do whatever you want. And there's some dudes out there that, like, I'm not the ballsiest guy on those things. There's some dudes that are out there that I'm assuming do this all the time, and they were doing some gnarly stuff on that thing. I was like, yep, nope.
Gnarly stuff on the Cherry Pow, brah.
Well, I don't know. It's like if you like, I don't ride snowmobiles. Like I go down once a year. Let's say we do it. The level of confidence that some people have on things that they've never done before, that seems, what do we call unearned confidence? I do not have unearned confidence.
Well, that's how people die.
Yes. Yeah, you're like, what could go wrong? I don't know.
A lot.
A 2,000, or I don't know how much those snowmobiles weigh, but I'm a very heavy machinery hitting you at 60 miles. Those things, the ones my buddy rents, those things go like 65, 70 miles an hour.
The irrational confidence.
Yeah,
It's messed up.
Yeah, well, I was trying to keep up with him because he does it a lot, and so he was going fast, and I was trying to keep up with him. When I came off the dumb snowmobile, we were doing 60-plus miles an hour, and all I could think of, what if I go off of that thing and I hit a tree? My fat ass hitting a tree at 60 miles an hour isn't going to end well. And then, like, after that, I just let him go, and then, like, I catch up with him, and I'm like, yeah, you're fast, and I'll be back here on the bunny trail.
I guess this is just the same guy, but he says the expert snowmobile people get into avalanche country all the time. Yeah. It's called highlining, very difficult. See how high up a steep hill you can go?
Yeah.
Triggers avalanches often.
Yeah.
And instead of braking on a snowmobile to get away from a tree, you're supposed to gun it. Goes against all your instincts.
Yeah, no. Nope.
I'll pass.
Nope. Again, I'll let you go up on those big. I'll just stay right
Go for
down
it, Rob.
there. Yeah.
Tell us how it goes.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I'm good in that 30, 45 mile an hour range. I'm fine there.
All right. Well, you guys have a great night, okay?
See what we can do.
We are back tomorrow, 3 to 7 on The Fan. Good night.
Friendships of Spain. Friendships of Spain.
If you're stalking me and